How long ago was it? We count the one that maybe watch you.
Why do I go to Elmhurst College?
I'm close to everything.
I need a great school at a great price.
I'm learning about myself and my role in the world.
I love a challenge.
I'm dreaming big.
But feel totally at home.
I want an education with meaning.
I want to be a champion for others. I made connections for life.
I'm ready for the real world. Why do I go to Elmhurst College?
To reach my full potential.
Cardinals are coached by Jeff Thorne and enter today's game with a 6-1 overall record and 5-1 CCIW record. Elmhurst is coached by Jeff McDonald, and the Blue Jays carry a 1-6 overall and 1-5 CCIW record into today's game.
Sure look like it. Close enough. Let's go.
Before we begin today's game, we ask all of you who are able to please rise and face the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And we welcome you to Langhorst Field on the campus of Elmhurst College as we bring you Blue Jay football. This afternoon, a CCI battle as the Elmhurst College Blue Jays entertain the Cardinals of North Central College. And we thank you for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. My name is Mark Kruger. Glad to have you with us. I'm joined by Jeff Torzeski and Coach. The Blue Jays with one win this season, the Cardinals of North Central with just one loss, so it's going to be a big challenge for Coach McDonald and the Blue Jays today.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way around it when you got a team like North Central coming to town today, and they're ranked number 7 in the country, and Jeff Thorne has another perennial power here in the conference this year, and you take a look at their schedule, the Cardinals, and their one loss is against the number 5 team in the country, Wheaton College, in the Bell game, and they lost 35-21 in that. But you take a look last week what they did to Carthage. They were up 49-0 at halftime, and basically had the second and third stringers in the second half of that game for their homecoming. So it's going to be a tough one today for the Blue Jays. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with, to try to get the Cardinals off their game a little bit.
The Blue Jays have struggled offensively. I don't think there's any other way to put it. They were shut out last week at Milliken. 2 weeks ago here at Langhorst Field, they were shut out by Illinois Wesleyan. The last score was 3 weeks ago at Washington University, and word has it that their leading receiver, Casey Dobchek, will not play this afternoon.
Yeah, just spoke to Brandon Bishop, assistant coach for the Jays, right before kickoff, and you see Dobchek there walking off the field, part of the coin flip. So not only a starting receiver, but a leader on this team and a senior. Unfortunately, an injury today, and he's not going to be able to go. It's good to see Jake Dehaney dressed up, though, ready for the game. Last couple of weeks, you've seen Noah Henkel a little bit more in the lineup. Jake was battling some injuries, so some good senior leadership on the offensive side. But the Jays are down a couple of weapons on the offense between Dobchek and running back Brock Bethke, also not playing today.
Blue Jays will get the ball first. Ishmael Coney and Tristan Womack are back deep here for the Blue Jays. The navy blue jerseys and pants, the Columbia blue numbers and helmets. The Cardinals, they're traveling white jerseys, white pants, the black numbers, and the black helmets.
I like those black helmets. They go back and forth with the white and the black helmets, but those are pretty sharp. Coach Thorne's always got them well dressed, as well as playing quite well.
Partly cloudy skies. 41 degrees.
Good contingent from the Naperville side over across the field. A full stand over there for the Cardinals, and typically travel well. And obviously a short drive over to Elmhurst, not too tough.
Winds out of the west at 15 miles an hour, so on your monitor from left to right.
Mayor, he's not on the dress list. Did I give you the dress list?
So Mayer will be kicking off here for the Cardinals with the wind. So we'll see if this one goes into the end zone. It is a kick, and it will go into the end zone. So out comes the Blue Jay offense here, and they'll try to get things going early on against a tough Cardinal defense.
Yeah, and listed with the start today will be the quarterback, Jake Dehaney, 5'11", 185-pound senior from Hazlitt High School in Michigan, getting his what would be a second-to-last home start here. One more home game after this one for the Jays.
That's in the East Lansing area, right?
That it is, yeah, and there's been a good pipeline of Hazlitt Vikings to come through Elmhurst the last couple of years as well.
Tanner King is split out to the very top of your monitor. Send a man in motion. That's Ben Friedrich, and they're going to hand the ball off, and Womack will get to about maybe a yard to the 26.
Yeah, and we'll probably see quite a bit of Womack today. I mentioned earlier Brock Bethke will not be in action today, so figure to see a lot of number 7 in the backfield for the Jays.
Defensive line for the Cardinals, Dan Gilroy, Cameron Martin, Isaiah Ziegler, Tyler Rich. The linebackers, Ben Wong, Brian Beauchamp, Sam Taviani. Second down and 9. They're going to give the pitch now to Womack. Tries to cut it back, and he'll get to about the 27. Isaiah Ziegler was there on the tackle. The secondary for the Cardinals, D'Angelo Robertson, Dakota Creemans, Braden Lindmark, and Jake Beasley in the secondary for Shane Deerking, the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals.
Yep, Shane was a former player for the Cardinals as well, a very good defensive back. Was also a defensive coordinator at Benedictine before he went back to North Central.
Dad, a longtime NFL member, if I'm not mistaken.
Good pedigree.
Third down and 7 now for Dehaney. Drops back. Now he fakes and throws here to Richie Zacharias, the intended target. Beasley was there on the coverage, so it's going to be 3 and out here for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it was a really good coverage on the outside there by number 21, Jake Beasley. Beasley basically been on the field since he was a freshman for North Central, coming from Champaign Central High School. He was recruited as a receiver. He's about a 6'4" defensive back, but he's been playing mostly on the defensive side since he's been with the Cardinals.
So Matt Burns will punt it away, averaging about 31 yards per punt this season. Nick Rummel is back deep for North Central, standing at his own 44-yard line. And Rummel will take it at the 44, and he returns it 5 yards to the 49-yard line. Tristan James with a nice tackle for the Blue Jays. So out comes this North Central College offense. Amazingly, Jeff, averaging 556 yards per game.
Yeah, and the catalyst to that offense is the quarterback, number 9, Brock Rutter. Rutter, a senior, 6'2", 204 pounds from Nickel Valley, and also by way of Indiana State, but he's been at North Central for a few years here and has a chance to set the single-season passing touchdown record this week, actually, a record that was set last year.
Yeah, he's breaking all kinds of records for the Cardinals. First play from scrimmage, though, is a handoff to Ethan Greenfield, and he will get to the 44-yard line, a pickup of 6. Greenfield, the 5'9" sophomore from Lakes High School, averages about 119 yards per game.
Yeah, and you take a look at the reason why. Obviously, he's a good running back, but the size that the Cardinals have up front, comparing that to the defensive line of Elmhurst right now, it's definitely a size mismatch up front.
Second down and 4. Brad Spencer, the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach at North Central. Rudder now gets flushed out to the far side, throwing off balance, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for D'Angelo Hardy. Hardy, a freshman, he's from Lakes High School as well.
Looked like Bryce Gable out there on the coverage for the Jays. Good pocket there up front by the North Central offensive line, gave Rudder plenty of time, and good job on the back end, though, by the Jays. Almost still came down with it, a little bit of a mismatched jump on there on the outside, but nonetheless, here a third down opportunity for the Jays to make a stop.
Blake Williams is split out here to the bottom of your monitor. Cardinals averaging about 49 points per game.
That's pretty incredible.
Man, yeah. Defensively, the Blue Jays allowing over 42 points per game. Rudder looking to his right now, gets it complete over the middle, and the pass is complete to Tyler Egan, 6'4" senior tight end out of Mount Carmel, down to the 34-yard line. It'll be a first down.
Yeah, nice pocket presence there by Rudder to take a look around, and had Egan there up the middle, and had a lot of opportunities there to take a look. That was a really good pocket up front there by the North Central offensive line.
So many impressive numbers for the quarterback, Brock Rudder. The one that really impresses me most, he's back in the pocket now, and he fires, and he's got it open, and that's Alex Rose, and Rose is going to waltz into the end zone for a touchdown, 34 yards from Rudder to Alex Rose.
Little miscommunication in the secondary, it looked like, by Elmhurst. Daniel John Baptiste was the only real player kind of in the vicinity of Rose, and he went untouched into the end zone. Real quick strike there by the Cardinals.
27th touchdown of the season for Brock Rudder, and he's only had 2 interceptions, Jeff.
That's an impressive stat altogether, just the 2 interceptions. But yeah, that's going to be a record that he's going to break, passing up Nico Stepina, the former Milliken quarterback, who had a really good career himself, was a 4-year starter for the Big Blue the last few years.
Thomas Mitchell's extra point attempt was no good, so it is 6-0 here in favor of North Central with 12:23 remaining here in the opening quarter.
A couple bright spots there. Elmhurst defensively, they did get a third down, opportunity to make a stop, and obviously was a quick little pickup by Rudder and Egan there. But Elmhurst obviously early in the game here battling, and that's what you want to ask for here when you got the number 7 team in the country, taking the field with you. So it'll be good to hear. Hopefully Elmhurst can move the ball a little bit on their second possession, we got Womack back deep, and hopefully can start the series out right here.
North Central's only loss of the season came back on October 5th at Wheaton against the Thunder. It was 35-21 Wheaton, so the Thunder undefeated in league play at 6-0 and overall at 7-0. The Thunder, by the way, at Carroll today. Other action, Augustana at Wash U, North Park at Carthage, and Milliken is down in Bloomington taking on Illinois Wesleyan. And this will be another touchback here, so Tahaney and the Blue Jays back to work here with 12:23 to go here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, just taking a look again at that North Central schedule, you mentioned the loss to Wheaton, but you look at the numbers they put up in every other game. Even that game, they still put up 21 points against a very good defense. But they started the season at Christopher Newport, which is a non-traditional, non-conference opponent, but they're a typically a top 25 team out in Virginia. So that's a really good test to start the season, and they came out swinging in that game as well.
Boy, then did you see what they did to North Park, putting up 77 points?
And 49 1/2 last week. And it's a very impressive offense that they got, but it's obviously matched with a very sizable, good-looking defense as well.
Womack back to the line of scrimmage to the 25, so no gain, second down, and 10 yards to go here for the Blue Jays. 2 wide outs to the top here for Tahaney. Second down and 10. Instead, he goes here to the near side, and that one is incomplete. Intended for Tanner King. And again, good coverage there by Jake Beasley, the junior.
Yeah, it's the second time Beasley's been all over King. We mentioned it a couple weeks ago when Wesleyan was in town. The size of the cornerbacks, it's very impressive when you have a 6'4" cornerback able to run as well and cover as well as Beasley does. And they got a couple of athletes there from that Central Illinois area. Ben Wong's another one. Creemans is another one. They've got some good kids from that area come up to play for them as well.
Friedrich goes in motion here. 3rd down and 10 for Tehaney. Good protection now. He has to step up and run the football, and he'll get brought down after a gain of 2 to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, and that was Tommy Highland on the stop there, the junior for Montini, and that was a 4-man rush. That wasn't too much other than a pocket breaking down, and Tehaney had to jump up, but a really good job by the North Central front to make the stop.
So another 3 and out for the Blue Jays. Last week, the Blue Jays with only 5 first downs in that loss against Milliken. A high, short punt this time by Burns, and it will finally land at the 49-yard line of Elmhurst. So excellent field position once again here for Brock Rudder and the Cardinals.
Yeah, that one hung up in the air a little bit too much. You know, you got Burns doing that rugby-style punt a little bit. Typically with that, you see a little bit more of a line drive action, which would carry a little bit better in the wind typically, but that one got hung up a little too high, and like you said, now the Cardinals are set with some pretty good field position to start this drive.
Yeah, they're actually going to bring it up here to the 44-yard line now. Well, now back a yard to the 45.
45.
What's another yard? Right?
It's still inside the right side of the 50, I guess.
Yeah. 6-0 Cardinals early on here in the opening quarter. CCIW battle here. It's Greenfield, and he bounces it out to the outside. Hell of a first down and more inside the 30, and knocked out of bounds around the 22-yard line, 21-yard line. Nice run that time by Ethan.
Yeah, good patience there by Greenfield to, bounce that thing to the outside. Good job up front there by the Jays defensively to kind of spill that to the backers and the D-backs, but nobody home there able to make the stop, and a really good patient run and a first down.
24 yards on that run by Greenfield. Needs 167 yards to get to the 1,000 mark this season. Rudder fakes it to Greenfield. They're going to throw it. Blake Williams with the reception. Breaks one tackle, and he gets brought down inside the 5 at about the 2.
Yeah, that's some good yak on the outside there by Williams. Nice little pitch and catch from Rudder to him. Broke a tackle and almost got into the end zone, but now they're set up with a quick 1st and goal.
34th catch of the season for Williams, a Mattia Valley product.
Yeah, they don't have to turn too far to get some really good athletes. I mean, they pluck a lot of kids from the Naperville and surrounding areas, and obviously you got a handful of guys from Central Illinois and beyond, but a lot of good local products on this Cardinal roster.
Spotted at the 3, so 1st and goal here for the Cardinals. Rudder is going to hand it off, and Greenfield will go in, his 11th rushing touchdown of the season.
And that looks like it might have been one of his easiest ones. That was pretty much untouched even through the middle of that line.
12-0 Cardinals, so North Central scores touchdowns on its first 2 possessions here. And for the Blue Jays, their first 2 possessions, 3 and out. Jake Johnson to hold. Thomas Mitchell with the extra point. Remember, he missed the first one, but this one is good to make it 13-0 North Central.
Yeah, about the most ideal start you would want offensively that the Cardinals are finding here. And, said it again, multiple times already. You take a look at that size that North Central has up front with their offensive line going up against the Elmhurst defensive line, who, again, we say it every week, the strong suit of this Elmhurst defense is those guys up front, LeVar Little, Luke Kuhn, Clayton Smith, Andrew Mink, guys that have been in the lineup for multiple years, and they're still, getting kind of taken care of by the North Central offensive line right now.
The referee today, Ben Kerr, umpire Kenny Keel. The head linesman is Bob Millward. Line judge Mikey Blair. Field judge Jim Sullivan. The side judge Marcel Kerr. The back judge is Scott Stanzak. So Elmhurst will have its 3rd possession of the game. Boy, there's just still over 10 minutes to go here in this opening quarter.
And the ball falls off the tee. And, yeah, that's another thing, too. You only got 5 minutes off the clock here to start this game, and 2 quick strikes by the Cardinals and pretty much nothing offensively for the Jays. You're going to see you would think a little bit more run-heavy offense here, just with the wind and the ability for the Cardinals to establish a run game, but still only 5 minutes gone by.
In the air.
And this will be yet another touchback. So the Blue Jays will have it 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line here.
And, a couple things, too, offensively for the Jays. They've struggled a little bit with injuries. Like we said today, Dobchak and Bethke aren't playing. But you haven't had a real full-strength offensive line, it seems like, over the last few weeks. You got some guys in there. Yeah, obviously your staples at the tackles between Chandler Cohn and Danny Jones. But you got some new guys in the lineup today.
Javi Hurtado is the center, 6-foot junior. And then on the right guard is Tyler Abuhawa. And this one is Tristan Womack trying to get to the outside, but he does not. Shoved out of bounds there by Beasley.
Yep, another good spill there by the Cardinal defense, and that's what good defenses do. You want to be a good spill defense. Your defensive line bottling everything up front, letting everything bounce out to the outside to let the backers and the D-backs take care of it, and that was pretty much what you're looking for with that play right there.
3-yard pickup for Tristan. He is now over 300 yards rushing for the season. The senior out of Hewitt, Texas. Valcourt goes in motion to Haney. Has time. Now he's going to step up and run with the ball, and he'll get tackled at the 26. It'll be a loss of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, really good patience on the back end there by the North Central defense. Ben Wong in on that stop. A couple guys on the back end didn't get fooled by anything across the field. The pocket kind of collapsed a little bit there. Tahaney tried to take off and run, and Ben Wong and Ahan, Tala Ahan were back there ready for the stop.
Ben Wong, one of the leading tacklers, 39 tackles coming into today. Averages about 8 tackles per game, the junior from Bloomington Normal. Well, the sun has peeked out here momentarily. 3rd down and 8 from the 26-yard line. Tahaney gets flushed out, and he's going to run with the ball, and he's going to have the 1st down as he crosses the 35 to the 37-yard line. Brian Beauchamp with the tackle, but Jake Tahaney picks up the 1st down.
It's a great run by Tahaney. Real nice to see, too, him bouncing back and able to do that. He's got some wheels, and he just showed it there, obviously, on that play. I mean, he's a sprinter in the offseason, we'll call it, but he's a sprinter for the track team here. But he's definitely capable at any time to make a big play, and that's an impressive play against this defense in the first down of the day for the Blue Jays.
It's been a split position at quarterback between Tahaney and Noah Henkel, the freshman quarterback, and Tahaney getting the start. This is Womack, and he's close to a 1st down here, a gain of 10.
Good run there by Womack. He had a really great run last week, and they're going up tempo here, so I'll get back to that run in a second.
Yeah, I like this. Now the screen to Womack out in the flat there, but boy, nothing there. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's it.
Yeah, the tempo there is good. You're putting the ball in the hands of your best athletes, and I think that's what Coach McAvoy, the offensive coordinator, is trying to do. You want the ball in the hands of Womack and in the hands of Tahaney, obviously. And the tempo is just trying to catch the Cardinals off track a little bit, and it worked there the first time. But now you got a 2nd and 10.
From their own 47-yard line. Tahaney going to hand it off. Womack showing some patience, and he'll get about 2 to the 49-yard line. Braden Lindmark was there to make the stop.
That's only about a 2-yard gain, like you said, but it's pretty impressive. That was a good penetration up the middle there by the North Central defense, and enough patience there by Tristan Womack there to at least patient enough to pick up a few substantial yards, but he did have a great run in that first drive Elmhurst had last week against Milliken, and I think the entire Midwest was in about a monsoon, it seemed like, last week. Every game I was watching was in some sort of rainstorm, and that happened last week, but he did pull off a good run in the first quarter last week.
3rd down and 8. Tahaney rolling out here to the near side, throws, and Valcourt, no, Dimitri couldn't quite handle it, and so it's going to bring up 4th down now, and the punting unit coming on once again.
Julian Bell on the coverage there for the Cardinals. Valcourt, had a chance to come down with that still. Really good coverage on the outside there, but Valcourt still had his hands on the ball and wasn't able to come down with it. But, hopefully Burns keeps this punt down a little bit lower than his last one to pin the Cardinals deep here a little bit.
Rummel is back at his own 20-yard line. 13-0 in favor of North Central. Good punt that time by Burns from the 25-yard line, and not much of a return. Maybe a yard to the 26-yard line. 1st and 10, Cardinals with 7:07 to go here in the opening quarter.
One of the usual suspects in on that stop there, Tristan James and Sean Jay in on those tackles there on the special teams outfit there for the Jays. Sean Jay has had himself a pretty darn good year. He's kind of becoming more and more a leader on that defense. He's a versatile player, can play on the outside, can play safety, but he's got a lot of tackles. And obviously you don't want your safety to lead your team in tackles, but he's in on a lot of plays.
47 tackles for him, and they throw it underneath, and that's going to be a gain of about 10 at the 36, so it will be a first down. They'll move the chains here.
Yeah, spot was about as close as it gets, and it looks like they're waiting on the back chain guy to move. He doesn't want to move yet here. And finally the referee says, come on down.
37-yard line, so it's a gain of 11 on that pass play. 1st and 10 for Rudder and the Cardinals from their own 37. Rudder is going to throw it again to the far side, and again this one is complete, and it's going to be another first down there right at midfield. Andrew Kaminsky, the leading target, 66 catches and 12 touchdowns coming into today.
Yeah, Kaminsky from South Elgin, he's had himself a really great career here at North Central, or at North Central, I should say. But he is the catalyst of that receiving crew, and he's been for a couple of years now.
896 receiving yards for him coming into today. 1st and 10, Rudder has all the time. Now it closes down, and LeVar Little was there to make the sack.
Great play by Little. He didn't give up. He came around the edge and had a clear shot at Rudder, and there was a North Central player able to get a chip on him to knock him off his path, but was still able to come in and take the sack there to Rudder, and now you're left with a 2nd and long situation. The first real play that North Central is behind the original line of scrimmage all day.
2nd down and 17 now, back at the 41-yard line for Rudder. Looking to his left, throws right on target to Blake Williams at about the 48-yard line of Elmhurst. Checked at the 40. Yeah, they're going to move it up to the 48-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 7.
A little bit of an off-man situation there where there was just enough cushion of play of yardage to get that out, and a good 2nd and long reception there to make it 3rd and manageable here for the Cardinals.
From the 48-yard line of the Blue Jays on the far hash mark, 3rd down, 5.5 remaining here in the opening quarter. Rudder and the Cardinals going with the wind. Rudder throws, and again it's complete to Williams, and he'll have the first down across the 40 to the 39.
Seen a lot of Williams early today, and obviously you're throwing into the wind here, which makes things a little bit easier, but good patience there by Rudder to take a look around and see who was open, and it was Williams across the middle for another first down.
Boy, Rudder just shows great form, doesn't he, Jeff? And just puts it in, just threads the needle right there.
Great form, great patience. And he's been their guy for a number of years now, and it shows.
Williams now is lined up at the very top of your monitor. They're going to go to the ground. This is Greenfield. Greenfield bounces it out. There is a flag on the play, however, as Greenfield is into the red zone, tackled at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and that's thrown by the umpire, so that's probably going to be coming back. We had Coach Jackson Smith on the sidelines pointing in the direction of the Cardinals, so this will be coming back. Good tackle down the field by Sean Jay. But we'll see what the official call is here from the man in the white hat.
Ben Kerr telling us it is indeed holding against the Cardinals.
A couple of holds.
Yeah, two. Flip a coin.
Yeah, which one do you want to take? Take the one farther back in the backfield.
Yeah. So the 24-yard run by Greenfield is negated, and they'll walk off the penalty, and they'll bring it all the way back to the 47.
Yeah, so you got second, or I should say first and long here, a little bit another situation behind the original line of scrimmage, but they're able to chew up yards pretty well here so far, the Cardinals have, so not a huge setback.
1st and 17 now for Brock Rudder. Getting back to his numbers, Jeff, he completes 72% of his passes, and he's thrown for over 2,200 yards on the year. This one, D'Angelo Hardy And so that tells me he's not just throwing screen passes, and he's throwing downfield, and to complete 72% of his passes is pretty remarkable.
Oh, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not just dump offs and screens. He's got some weapons down the field, but he's a product of a really efficient offense that Coach Thorne and Coach Spencer have at North Central.
Hardy down to the 38-yard line, so it's 2nd down and 9 now for the Cardinals. Approaching the 4-minute mark of the opening quarter. Cardinals scoring on their first 2 possessions, leading 13-0. It's Greenfield again, straight up the middle, and Greenfield will have a first down tackled at the 25-yard line, a pickup of 14.
Yeah, Nick Marino and Sean Jane on that stop. So we're seeing Marino the last couple of weeks getting some more significant playing time, which is good to see. Junior out of Bartlett. Been in the program for a few years.
Mentioned Jeff Thorne, the head coach, took over for his dad, who did a remarkable job. John Thorne, as the head coach at North Central, really turned that program around. Greenfield again, and he'll get about 7 down to the 18-yard line. Of course, John Thorne, a longtime head coach at Wheaton Warrenville South. Ron Muhich took over that program.
Kept it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, one thing, obviously, as a Division III former player, coach, you follow Division III athletics as much as I do. And even growing up in northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota, you know who the North Central Cardinals are. And they've carried that thing for the last 20, 25 years.
2nd down and 3 now. Fake it to Greenfield. The pass is, it's dropped. D'Angelo Hardy, the freshman, he had it, but then he bobbled it and dropped it.
Quick whistle there. You watch the replays in the NFL, and you get Dean Blandino on there, and they say, all right, he made a football play, and he turned, and he made a football play. That should be a fumble. It's hard to tell from up here. I mean, you could say he made a football play, and he caught it and fumbled, but quick whistle there rules it an incomplete pass either way. It'd be interesting to see what Dean Blandino would have said about that play.
3rd down and 3 now for Rudder and the Cardinals. Fake the handoff to Greenfield, and that one is intended, and it is complete to Kaminsky. A little bit of a low throw, but Kaminsky did a nice job of picking it off of his shoe tops, and they'll move the change, another first down.
Yeah, pretty solid job there by Kaminsky to come down with that thing. And a little good pass rush off the end by the Jays there. I think that was Tyler Jolly in there, I want to say. And we got a flag on the outside here.
Yeah. Oh, while I got a chance here, we know from prior broadcasts that you are from Upper Wisconsin. How is your high school football team doing?
They played probably about the best high school football game last night that I've seen in years. If anybody from Wisconsin's watching this one, the Superior Spartans sure did. It was an upset. They were the 4 seed in their section, defeated Pulaski in Pulaski last night, which is about a 4-hour drive from Superior. But they're on to level 3 next week against Kaukauna, which will be another 4-hour drive to the Green Bay area. So two games away from Camp Randall, but like I said, I was saying earlier before we got on, it was an unbelievable game, a great comeback, a chance for Pulaski to come back and win, and Superior blocked the game-tying field goal for a touchdown. So it was something else. It was a great high school football game in the state of Wisconsin.
Nothing like playoff football, no matter what state, right?
Exactly.
From the 7 after the Blue Jay penalty in the quarter, Kaminsky, did he come down with it?
Sure
yes.
Did.
What a catch by Andrew Kaminsky, his 13th touchdown of the season. And the Cardinals score their 3rd touchdown of the game.
And I believe that's going to be close to, if not a single-season CCIW receiving touchdown record as well that Kaminsky's going to set here. And that was great concentration coming down with that thing. Great route, got a foot down in the blue. Really good catch. Good throw by Rudder as well.
Very good throw by Rudder into the corner. So the Blue Jay defender had no chance to pick it off. Low snap, but it was handled well by Johnson. Mitchell with the missed extra point. No, he made the extra point, so it's 20-0.
And you think, too, with how this quarters went, I mean, the Cardinals have methodically marched on all 3 of their possessions, and setbacks on with penalties on this last drive, but still was able to get down the field quite easily. And you still have 2 minutes left in the first quarter. I mean, you saw a balance of run and pass there by the Cardinals, and when Elmhurst has the ball, they're trying to establish a bit of a run game before they get to the air a little bit. But the way things are going so far in this game, Coach McDonald defensively, they're going to have to tighten up a little bit here and hopefully make a couple stops on the next few possessions that North Central will have.
2:03 left to play here in this opening quarter. At the end of the quarter, we'll check out the CCIW scoreboard. Jeff will bring you those updates. I'm sure he may throw in a Big Ten score or two. Who's your Wisconsin Badgers have this week?
They are off this week.
They are. Okay.
Luckily. They got Iowa next week, which, if it weren't for the pesky Gophers still being undefeated, that could really be the Big Ten West championship game next week. But who knows? We'll see if Minnesota can keep this undefeated streak going, which is really surprising. PJ Fleck.
Head coach of the Golden Gopher. Yeah, what a job he has done there, huh?
Yeah, the recruitment that he does is quite good.
And this, once again with the wind, it'll be another touchback, and the Blue Jays will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 25.
Some scores to report. Just jumped on the D3 football website right now. I'm not quick enough on the touch to get to specifically to the CCIW, but we'll get those in the next break and
all right,
chat up with those and go from there.
Jake Dehaney back out there at quarterback for the Blue Jays. Dimitri Valcourt now coming in late, and now he goes in motion. Dehaney rolls out now, throws, and he's got his tight end. That's Ben Friedrich, and he'll pick up about 6 on that play. 2nd down and 4.
The last couple of weeks and obviously all season, he's been the catalyst of the pass game for the Blue Jays. Obviously you don't necessarily always have your tight end as your top receiver, but he's a big, solid target, gets yards after the catch, and you saw it there with a good 6-yard gain.
Spotted at the 32-yard line. 2nd down, and call it 3 here. This side, and that one is incomplete. Tanner King was the intended target. Julian Bell was there in the coverage.
Yeah, and that's pretty tough when you have King on the outside, who his secondary, I guess his primary position's on the other side of the ball, but that's where they're sitting at in terms of depth right now. I don't want to say it's a mismatch defensively for the Cardinals, but it's pretty darn close. And give credit, obviously, to King for being as versatile as an athlete as he is. He's one of the stalwarts on the defensive side, but he's been playing in a position that he's normally not accustomed to, at least at the college level.
Sophomore from Wichita, Kansas. Dehaney across the middle, intended for Bren Friedrich. Sam Taviani was there. The official was there also.
Yeah, official setting the pick there. And that was, Taviani was right on top of the route there, but it looked like Friedrich did have a step on him, and I don't know, from this angle can't really tell if it was the umpire's fault or what it was, but not exactly the best throw, but a chance there for the Jays to pick up a 1st down that they didn't convert.
So Matt Burns coming out to punt it again. Rummel back at his own 38. 1:19 left to play here in the opening quarter. And they're going to fake it, and they're going to come up a couple yards short. Well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? One thing I will say about the Elmhurst special teams, Coach Chris Kirkpatrick's done a really good job of, playing to the strengths of the Elmhurst special teams units. He does it in all facets of the game, and yeah, why not? They practice that stuff for a reason, and when you're down as much as you are right now, you got to look for a spark somehow, and unfortunately it didn't work there, but I applaud the effort definitely by Coach Kirkpatrick and the special teams unit of Elmhurst.
Of course, the Blue Jays' new head coach, Jeff McDonald, defensive coordinator for Illinois Wesleyan the last 2 years. But the fake punt attempt gives North Central very good field position, 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line of the Blue Jays. And now we've got a whistle and perhaps
delay a game, I believe.
Yep. 5-yard walk-off against North Central. Puts them back to the 37-yard line. So instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 1st and 15. Rudder rolls out to his left. Nothing open. Now he comes back this side and it'll get brought down back at the 46.
Yeah, great job on the defensive side there. The first person in on it was Bryce Gable. And then Zach Hazelhoff comes in and cleans up Rudder on the back end there. But a really good pass rush by the Jays. That's just a good confidence booster you got right there. I mean, you're taking down the best quarterback in the league, and they're getting to him a couple times here. So a really good job on the defensive line and backing core of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Bryce Gable, only a freshman. Good game last week, had 9 tackles against Milliken.
He's got over 50 tackles on the season as well, so that bodes well for the future in the linebacking core.
8.5 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks coming into today. Second down, 24 to go for Rudder. Out in the flat here to the near side is Alex Rose, and he'll get tackled at the 35-yard line. Pickup of 11, and we'll see if the Cardinals run off another play here. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Now the clock stops as the Cardinals have called a timeout here.
Interesting. The reason why, and I think it's a very smart timeout call, actually, when you think about it, the wind factor. Right. I mean, it's blowing pretty hard down there. The streamers on the goalposts are going quite high. And, I mean, that's a good timeout. I don't, obviously, when you have a 20-point cushion, you think, okay, come on. No, that's in terms of placement for Pool B, if you're not going to be the automatic qualifier for the conference, you got to put up some points. And, put as many up as you can with the right weather. I mean, it's a good timeout.
There was 8.5 seconds left on the clock. They moved it up now to 10 seconds remaining.
Yep, so it'll be interesting, too, with this play selection. Obviously, you got a 3rd and long situation, so even if they don't get the first down, you want to kick into the wind as opposed to against it. So even if they don't pick up the first down, it'll be interesting to see maybe if they do take a shot at least past the sticks or take a shot into the end zone. But worst case scenario, you're at least kicking with the wind if they get a play off quickly here. Smart timeout.
Cardinals are facing a 3rd down and 13 here from the 35. 80th meeting between these two teams. The Cardinals lead the all-time series 56-22. There has been one tie. The series goes back to 1927. Rudder. And Rose is left wide open on the far side, and he goes and on the well, he's going to be very, very close, Jeff, to that first down. They are going to move the chains. It is a first down.
Yeah, he definitely got over the stick, and that's a good throw by Rudder across the field like that, but that's why you call that timeout, an easier throw and a first down. And now you'll probably see a little bit more of the run game here when they go, opposite the wind here to start the second.
Needed 13, got 13, down to the 21-yard line. So 1 quarter in the books here from Langhorst Field in Elmhurst. CCIW battle as North Central leads the Blue Jays here at the end of one by a score of 20-0. So as Jeff mentioned now, the Cardinals will go against the wind. And yeah, boy, the last couple of minutes, the wind has really picked up.
Yeah, it looked like it picked up. You said earlier the sun kind of peaked out there. He thought it was going to be a nicer bit of a day, but then the wind decides to become a factor. But taking a look around the CCIW right now, score in St. Louis, Augustana made the trip over. A quick drive compared to some of the other teams in the league, but right now the score between that game, Washington University up 7-0 on Augustana. In Bloomington, Illinois Wesleyan taking on Milliken, and try to hit the stats on that, and it brings me to the film of the game, and then there's an Illinois Wesleyan commercial that comes on before that. So again, my finger's not quick enough to pick up on that game, but then we can venture on over up to Kenosha, where Carthage is taking on North Park. Currently, that game, first quarter, Carthage up 18-0 on North Park late in the first quarter in Kenosha.
Thank you very much, sir. First play of the second quarter. Rudder over here to the near side, and the pass is incomplete. They say it was bobbled there by Tyler Egan.
Yeah, obviously he came down with the catch, but he didn't have complete control of it with a foot in bounds, so it comes back to 2nd and 10.
By the way, first quarter numbers, Rudder was 12 of 14 passing for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Greenfield, 6 carries, 55 yards. Jake Tahaney was 2 of 7 passing for 7 yards. Womack, 7 carries, 18 yards in the first quarter. Second down and 10. Greenfield has some blocking ahead as he gets inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line to pick up a 7.
Yeah, nice moving up front there by the Cardinal offensive line. Greenfield carries him, follows along quite well and picks up a nice 7-yard gain, making it a 3rd and short situation here inside the red zone.
Alex Rose with a 34-yard touchdown pass from Brock Rudder. Greenfield, a 3-yard touchdown run, and a 6-yard pass from Rudder to Andrew Kaminsky, your 3 touchdowns in that first quarter.
And it looks like Coach McDonald did call a timeout there.
North Central facing a 3rd down and 4 from the 14-yard line. Blue Jays calling a timeout here. Just underway here in the second quarter. 20-0 Cardinals on top.
Found one more score at least.
All right, sir.
Wheaton is up in Waukesha taking on Carroll. 14:49 to go in the second quarter. Wheaton up 6-0 on the Pioneers.
The Blue Jays will be on the road next week taking on North Park. And they'll finish off the season 2 weeks from today here against the league-leading and undefeated Wheaton Thunder.
Yeah, that's a tough back end. And then, again, we speak to it every week, how tough this league is. But you go North Central one week, North Park the next, bring it back to Wheaton. It's a tough 3-game stretch to end the year, especially when you got to go into the city and play the Vikings. That's a unique college football experience.
It is.
Playing at North Park.
Yes.
You can't have an 8-yard holding penalty in the middle of the field.
3rd down and 4 for Rudder and the Cardinals. From the 14-yard line, Rudder's going to throw to the far side. A pass is it's dropped.
Yeah.
Blake Williams had it. Good hit, and on the hit, Williams dropped the ball. So it's simply going to be incomplete, and it's going to be 4th and 4.
Yeah, it looked like Gable was out on the coverage there, I believe. I'm sorry, that's Jeff Bills. 49-46 looks the same.
I know.
But that is Jeff Bills from RB. Good play by him, and now the Cardinals will go for it here on 4th down.
They'll pass up on the 31-yard field goal attempt. But again, they're going against the wind, so they're going to go for it here, 4th and 4. Greenfield's going to get the call, and he will get the first down inside the 10 down to the 8.
Yeah, that's a good play call there by Coach Spencer, Coach Thorne, and they had a little bit of an outside mismatch, but you go with the sure thing. Your offensive lines kind of dominate the line of scrimmage. Yeah. You can run the ball and pick up the first down.
Went off the left side there. The left tackle Jordan Ryan, the left guard Sharmore Clark for the Cardinals. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line now for Rudder and the Cardinals. Going to hand the ball off. This time the call is to Zach Garrett. And Garrett will get inside the 5 to the 4, pick up a 4.
Garrett, a Bulldog from Batavia High School. So that's a good 1-2 combination in the backfield that North Central has when you can obviously give Greenfield a breather and let Garrett run the ball a little bit here inside the red zone.
Garrett is flanked just to the right of Rudder. Rudder going to roll to his right, throw it into the end zone, and it is going to be a touchdown.
From this angle, from where we're sitting in the press box, just a nice little sprint out pass play there. He had to fit that thing in a window,
yes.
And Kaminsky was right on the spot, but that throw itself was very impressive from where we're sitting.
2nd touchdown catch of the game for Andrew Kaminsky. 14th touchdown catch of the season. And Mitchell will try the extra point, again going against the wind, and it is good. So the Cardinals of North Central leading now 27-0.
Yeah, that's just a quick strike drive there. And actually, that's probably their longest drive of the day. That thing started in the first quarter and had a couple of 4th down conversions. And, just we talk about it a lot. This is just a kind of a well-oiled machine that kind of moves methodically down the field, and that was a really good way to end the drive there by Rudder. Like I said, that throw was quite nice.
North Central, before the season started, preseason were ranked number 5, and as Jeff mentioned, currently ranked number 7 among Division III schools. So after the loss to Wheaton, they dropped down just a little bit, but certainly one of the top teams. And of course, them in Wheaton, perhaps can win well, not perhaps, but they certainly can go very deep in the tournament.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, too. A lot of times they always end up meeting each other in the second round. I mean, just the way the brackets work out, and those are, like you said, 2 teams both capable of making deep runs in this region.
So now the Blue Jays will have the win. Womack, one bouncer from the 15. Nice return, 35. Look at Womack go across midfield and shoved out of bounds into Cardinal territory. But there is a penalty marker down.
And that's way back there, too.
Yeah, that's way back at the 10-yard line, and usually that's not good for the receiving team.
But, I don't know necessarily what this is going to be. I mean, obviously the easy indicator is to say a block in the back, and it looks like the referees are walking back, but it seems like there's a little bit of a discussion here going on, but the White Hat's about to make the call.
Well,
they call a personal foul there?
He didn't put up any. There was no hand signals there. We couldn't hear him, unfortunately. Ben Kerr, the referee.
So that'll bring it back inside the 10, unfortunately, because the spot where the flag is at about the 11. So if you go half the distance there, that's going to be a unfortunate spot to start this drive. And it's tough because that was a nice little return there by Womack, and it didn't seem like it was affecting the play. He was already well past the 30 when that thing was thrown. Made a nice move to juke out the kicker and had one guy to beat, but got hawked there at the end. But a good return there by Womack, washed out.
Yeah, I think the officials are deciding where the infraction occurred and where they're going to spot the ball.
Yeah, it's taken a little bit too long if they're debating on it. We didn't even get an actual indication, and now they're moving it up. It looks like now. Obviously, they're not picking it up. They're going to spot the ball, what looks like at the 20-yard line here.
Right.
But now I understand. Okay, I pieced it together. He indicated a fair catch, and then he ran with it.
Oh, okay.
So they have to put the ball at the 20-yard line. That's exactly what it is. And I know a couple of guys in the press box here were saying that. So unfortunately, Womack was the product of his own bad doing there. That if he doesn't keep his hand up, then that's negates the run.
So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Swing pass out here to the near side results in a no gain.
And that's Anthony Antrobus, the sophomore running back from Naperville Central.
I don't know what that is.
Getting a couple reps in here.
A Mike Stein product. Naperville Central High School, fine head coach there, although the Redhawks did not make postseason this year. Finished 4-5, but a tough schedule for Naperville Central this season. Lost to East St. Louis in Week 9.
That's not an easy Week 9 game.
No,
Jeez
it's
Louise.
not. Yeah. 2nd down and 10. Oh, Tahani intended for Ben Friedrich.
Definite miscommunication there, and Jake points to himself, kind of a my-B situation there. Friedrich was the intended receiver. He hitched a little bit early, and Jake overthrew it, but looks like that was on Tahani there because he's the one that kind of acknowledged the mistake. So an opportunity there. They had a chance to pick up some yards. Friedrich had a step there to get back and make a catch, but the ball was not thrown where it was supposed to.
Zach Butler, the cornerback, almost had the pick for the Cardinals. 3rd down and 10 now for Tahani and the Blue Jays. 12:06 remaining here in this first half. Friedrich goes in motion.
Oof. Yeah, we had 2 in motion there. And actually before that, we got a timeout in there, but little confusion on the motion there. The slot started to move when Friedrich was in motion, and luckily there was a timeout.
Timeout taken by the Blue Jays here with 12:06 remaining here in this first half.
Yeah, and you got, an issue there, a little bit of some younger guys in the lineup. You're not 100% healthy. You're playing the number 7 team in the country. There's a lot against you right now, and it's unfortunately it's showing a little bit here. Hopefully they can get some yardage here and make something of this drive. But then, hopefully if not, you're kicking into the wind to set up the defense with some better field position. But it's a tough stretch right now. You got only 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter, and you haven't moved the ball that well during this drive or during the game at all. Hopefully they can make a play here on 3rd and 10.
Antrobus is lined up right behind Tahaney here on 3rd down and 10. And they're going to give it to Anthony, looking for some blocking. And he'll get brought down at the 24-yard line. He'll pick up a 4. It'll bring up 4th down and 6. And so they'll punt it away here.
Yeah, just a little bit of an outside zone play there. Nice little cutback, trying to get some positive yards, trying to establish some bit of a run game. It's tough to do that when it's 3rd and 10. But, you got to find a little bit of a win there, at least offensively, for the Jays to move the ball on. Just a standard little zone play.
And so now Matt Burns will come in to punt it away. He'll have the wind in his back here. And he gets off a pretty good one. Rummel will let it go. It'll take a Blue Jay roll, and it'll stop at the 37. So back to work, Brock Rudder and these Cardinals with 11:13 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, when you have 27-point cushion here early in the second quarter, and you have, obviously, your ones are still in, and talked a little bit about earlier, your chances are you're not going to win the league. Chances are you're still going to make the playoffs, but you got to put up some style points in this thing as well. It'll be interesting to see how long Rudder, Kaminsky, some of these guys stay in the game.
Three wide receivers here to the near side. D'Angelo Hardy in the slot. Rudder going to Hardy. Pass is complete, and he's tackled at the 45-yard line. It'll be an 8-yard pickup. 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, easy little pitch and catch there. And, Elmhurst not showing a lot too much defensively, nothing too much pressure-wise, and you can't. I mean, you got to kind of stay in your position here, and the offense from North Central is kind of just taking what Elmhurst is giving them.
Cardinals from their own 45-yard line. Rudder gives it to Greenfield. Greenfield has the first down as he'll get brought down at the 41-yard line of North Central. Or of Elmhurst, I should say.
Marino on the stop with a flag.
Yep.
And that looks to be kind of in that holding area. And the Cardinals are already moving back.
I think you're right. They're going to push this one back. Holding.
All right, and the microphone's working again.
All right, that was the left tackle, Jordan Ryan, with the hold.
And you take a look at that offensive line. It's interesting too. You got your inside guys that are actually taller than your outside guys. It's the guard Sturba's a 6'4", he's listed as, and
yeah,
usually you see a guy with that stature on the outside.
Big kid, senior from Buffalo Grove. Out in the flat, here's Greenfield. Breaks a couple of tackles. Now he breaks yet another, and he's inside the 40 of Elmhurst. Boy, a nice run all the way down to the 39.
Yeah, getting back closer to where they were initially on this play, and that he dragged about 3 Blue Jays on his back as well before he was finally taken down. That's just a good hard run, tough yards, and another first down for the Cardinals.
11 catches for Greenfield coming into today. So a versatile runner slash receiver is Greenfield. And only a sophomore. 1st and 10 from the 39. It is Greenfield again. And Greenfield will have the first down and more. Breaks a couple of tackles, and he gets brought down at the 10. 19 yards on that run by Greenfield.
Yeah, and he just kept moving. It's kind of interesting. He got to the second level, almost kind of surprised. It looked like he slowed down a little bit, and it was like, oh, I'm still going. And he kind of popped up and got to that second level and was able to bring it down to the 11. So another good run, and that's all they're really doing. They're just lining up in that tight end trips look and just kind of running it right down the middle.
Boy, you were right when you said when they're going against the wind that they'll probably keep the ball on the ground, keep it short. That's exactly what they've been doing. And they have been successful at it. They are all the way down to the 11-yard line. And again, on the ground, it's Greenfield. Just a couple that time. Forward progress will mark it at about the 9. 2nd and 8.
Handful of J's in on that stop. A good job by the by that defensive front by Elmhurst. We say LeVar Little's name a lot, and he's always sniffing around the play. He's like I said, he's the unquestioned leader of that Elmhurst defense.
Senior from North Lawndale. Luke Kuhn has been a good player on that defensive line also,
Absolutely.
Jeff. Yeah. 2nd and 8 from the 9. Rudder looking left, goes into the corner of the end zone, and he's got his man. That is a touchdown. That's Nick Rummel with the touchdown catch.
Same route that Kaminsky scored the touchdown on the previous drive, and easy little pitch and catch there. Good catching by Rummel in the corner of the end zone, and that one just almost looked a little too easy.
Rummel, a freshman from Gilbert's, Illinois. Transferred in from Iowa State. So now in for the extra point is Thomas Mitchell, currently 33-0. Some movement on the line of the Blue Jays, and they throw the flag.
They got it, yeah, they threw it, but
We'll see if it's against the Blue Jays.
procedure call on the Cardinals up front. It's like.
So they'll move it back 5. .8:30 left to play here in the first half. We're coming to you from Langhorst Field on the campus of Elmhurst College. So Mitchell now the extra point back from the 15-yard line now, and this extra point is still good. And so it's 34-0 in favor of North Central.
We had a couple of other Elmhurst sports in action today. I know the wrestling team's got their first duel of the year. They're heading down to Decatur, so taking on Milliken. So a conference matchup to start the season for Steve Marionetti and his guys. The Elmhurst men's and women's cross-country teams also in action this afternoon. Actually, probably already done at this point. I think the men ran at noon for the CCIW championships, and the women run after that, obviously. But that's out in Augustana. They're hosting that, and I know for sure the Elmhurst women had a chance to place pretty high in that. Emily Gilligan's a runner from Wheaton South that. I think she won the league last year. She won an indoor event for sure, but she's one of the top runners in the CCIW, and they have a couple runners that place in the top 10 typically in all the meets. So hopefully some good results for Elmhurst on some other sports today.
See if the Blue Jays get an opportunity here to return this one. Womack comes up from the 14, across the 25, and he'll get tackled near the 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Blue Jays from their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, kept his arm down that time and got a decent return. So good field position to start this drive, and we'll see probably Womack in there this series as he took the last one off.
Blue Jays 1st and 10 at their 29-yard line.
29-yard line, 3-yard difference from where it would have been if he did fair catch it, but last possession.
Indeed, Jake Tahaney back out there for the Blue Jays.
And that North Central defense with Wong and Creemans and those guys are all still in so far in the first half here.
Womack, the ball carrier, and he'll get tripped up at the 30-yard line. Pickup of 1, so it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw too many Cardinals making the stop there. It looked like from this angle, it looked like, yeah, like you said, he just got tripped up a little bit there, but only a 1-yard gain for Womack.
Talha Ihan, the defensive lineman, the junior out of Wheaton, went to Glenbard South, making the tackle. 2nd down and 9 for Tahaney. He rolls out to his left. Throws, and that one is incomplete. Dimitri Valcourt, also Tanner King were both there. I'm not sure who that one was intended to.
I want to say Valcourt was probably the intended receiver there, but you had Zach Butler and another Cardinal kind of in the coverage over there. Tough throw to make.
Yeah.
You know, basically you're just trying to escape the sack there. It looked like what Tahaney was doing, but you're set up with yet another 3rd and long situation.
King split out to the top of your monitor here. 3rd down and 9 for Tahaney and the Blue Jays. Pat McAvoy, the offensive coordinator for the Blue Jays. See what he draws up here on 3rd down, 9. Tahaney rolling out. Has some time, and that one is incomplete. A bit of contact. Justin Parbs was the intended target, but no flag.
Yeah, Parbs obviously the intended receiver there. Runs a good route, gets past Beasley. Beasley knocks him down, and that's a call that, you know, could go one way or the other in the sense that you might say, okay, that's an uncatchable ball. I'm not going to throw the flag, but the thing is, he had a beat on Beasley there, and he probably should have threw the flag there for a 15-yard pass interference. But nonetheless, the flag stays in the pocket, and it's 4th down.
Burns to punt. Rummel back at his own 30-yard line. And this one will go out of bounds. And where are they going to mark it? At the 37? Yep.
38.
7:23. 7:23 to go here in the first half. Cold afternoon here in Elmhurst. Game time temperature 41 degrees, and people are bundled up in the stands here today.
Yeah, the wind probably makes that feel like a 31 degrees or so, and we've been here. The admission office was here since about 7 o'clock this morning. We had an open house today. And
okay.
It was definitely a lot colder when the sun wasn't out yet, or when it was still dark out at 7 a.m. So definitely a chilly November day.
Have many trick-or-treaters on Thursday at all?
We were kind of busy.
Okay. Wow.
Not crazy. I was in the basement, though. I didn't have to deal with it.
I had a total of 4.
I would like that.
Underneath the Hardy. And look at Hardy. He's got room, and he's going to be out of bounds. It looked like he was out of bounds around the 40-yard line, but no, they're going to spot it at the 32.
Yeah, he must have stayed in, but it could have been generous, too. I thought he was knocked out a little bit farther back, like you said. But either way, down to the 32-yard line, and a really good pickup there on 1st and 10 by D'Angelo Hardy.
I vividly remember that.
Hardy only a freshman. And Rudder just continues to impress. He's going to hand it off this time. It's Greenfield. Greenfield off the right side, and he will get the 1st down near the 20-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 21, so a gain of 11, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, he followed the movement on his right side there, stayed patient, and he could have cut that thing inside a little bit quicker probably, and still would have gained a decent amount there, but a really good job staying behind the block to pick up even a little bit more yards, an 11-yard gain.
Down to the 21-yard line for Rudder and the Cardinals. North Central leading 34-0. Rudder has time, throws, and did Hardy come up with it? No, they
got it.
They said, yeah.
Yeah, he sure did.
He got it, yep.
Yeah, there was really no backer, no safety in the vicinity there. Just an easy pitch and catch for Hardy to come up with that, and that's his second big gain of this drive. And now the Cardinals have the ball inside the 5 and looking ready to punch it in here once again.
18-yard catch by D'Angelo Hardy, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 3. Just under 6 minutes remaining now in the first half.
Cardinals going strictly gun here, even inside the 5. You know, they bring the tight end to more of that H-back position on the inside. And
Greenfield and breaks one tackle. Was his knee down? No, he dives into the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown run.
Yes, initial contact here on the near side, they call it a touchdown, and then the linesman on the far side looks like didn't signal it, but they're going to give him the touchdown, and it's good effort there by Greenfield to get off that first wave of hit there. So a little bit of confusion in the press box here if that was a touchdown or not, but
it indeed was a 3-yard touchdown run, his second 3-yard touchdown run today.
And the flag's out again.
Yeah. With 10:04 left to play in the first quarter, Greenfield had his first 3-yard touchdown run. And now with 5:28 to go here in the second quarter, he picks up his second 3-yard touchdown run. It's a false start against the Cardinals.
False start penalty against North Central.
Yeah, with the way the wind's going, this isn't a gimme either. But, you know,
Yeah.
when you got a 40-point cushion, that's probably the least of the worries at this point.
Second time in a row that Mitchell has the extra point from the 15-yard line, and this one is no good. Pulls that one to the left. So the score remains 40-0.
Yeah, the wind definitely still playing a factor in this game. 5:28 to go here in the second quarter. So Elmhurst with the chance here to move the ball a little bit late in the second quarter and the opportunity to get the ball back then after at halftime as well. Or no, that I'm sorry, Elmhurst Elmhurst got the ball to start the game. So North Central will get the ball here at the second half, but hopefully a chance here for the Jays to get some clock down and get a substantial drive going.
Yeah, hopefully pick up a couple of first downs. Again, they are with the wind here with 5:28 left to play in the first half.
Womack and Coney back deep for the Jays. They've been primarily getting the ball to Womack, and obviously the way that the wind's blowing, that would favor maybe going to the other way to Coney here, but we'll see who ends up with this one, and maybe a little bit of a squib kick here as well.
See what the Cardinals do here with 5:28 to go. They decided to go deep, and the fair catch signal there by Coney. Boy, very rare to see that on a kickoff return, kicked deep.
So, yeah, the new rule with that is if you do signal a fair catch within the 20-yard line, and you obviously you don't return it, you get the ball at the 25, so that's what they did there. And either way, though, there's a little bit of confusion. It looked like Coney didn't know what exactly to do because he waved the fair catch, kind of muffed it, and then luckily the whistle blew. But not a lot of communication on the back end there between him and Womack. Nonetheless, yeah, starting the drive here at the 25-yard line.
Richie Zacharias is the motion man. Tahaney bootlegs it here to the near side, looking, and thrown behind the tight end, Friedrich. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Tahaney probably should just, pull that thing in and take the yards that he can get to try to pick up something there. When you're throwing against your body like that to a tight end, obviously, yeah, Friedrich's your target there, who's your number one target, but just try to pick up the yards you can to keep the drive going. That could have easily been a turnover if that thing gets thrown. There's plenty of white in the middle of the field there to pick one off.
So Tahaney now, second down and 10. Womack, the ball carrier, bounces it outside, fumbles the ball, and the Cardinals have recovered at the 20-yard line. Tyler Rich, the sophomore, with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, Womack did a really nice job on the front end of that play, juking out the first defender in his wake, and then was able to try to get up the field. Tahaney almost was going to be there for a lead block, but good job defensively there by the Cardinals to rip that thing out. And like you said, Tyler Rich comes up with their recovery, and 20 yards now to pay dirt.
Brock Rudder and the Cardinals back to work on offense. 3 wide receivers to the top. Williams is split out to the bottom of your monitor. Handing it off, here's Greenfield. Boy, look at the opening there. And Greenfield takes it down to the 5, a gain of 15. It'll be first and goal.
Yeah, that's quick. I mean, there ain't much there you can say other than just a good steady run, and obviously demoralizing in the sense of you're starting to drive defensively at the 20, but you got to do what you can here to keep them out of the end zone, and a 15-yard gain to start the drive isn't the most ideal beginning here.
He went to that right side. You talked about Ricky Sturba, 286-pounder, and then the right tackle is Colton Bolknick, 270-pounder over there.
Yeah, there's some beef on that side, and they can move a little bit. Sturba, for that size, can still move quite well, and from the guard position as well.
Well, the Cardinals want to talk things over here on first and goal from the 5.
The play clock was getting close to the end there, and might as well just take the timeout here when you got it. They're down to 1 now here at the end of this half.
Mention the final 2 games for the Blue Jays next week at North Park and then at home here against Wheaton. For North Central, they will be at Benedetti Worley Stadium next week to take on Illinois Wesleyan, and the Cardinals will finish off the regular season in Decatur against Milliken.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too. I mean, they have, obviously for them, 2 quite winnable games to end the year. Wesleyan obviously is going to be tough. Milliken has gotten better over the years and is able to establish himself a little bit in the league. But for a team like North Central, that's definitely 2 winnable games. You're going to put up some style points. You're going to need style points to get a good pool ranking. It'll be interesting to see, though. They went out here and finished 9-1. Who they'll match up with in the first round of the playoffs? Because you can almost guarantee them getting in.
Yeah. 7 of their 8 games for North Central. This one, the slant pattern is a touchdown. Blake Williams with the catch and the touchdown.
Yeah, that was quite easy there. Williams was pretty much untouched there on the coverage side of things. And 46-0 now here with 4:23 to go in the second quarter.
Including today, North Central, 7 of their 8 games, they have scored 40 or more points.
And the only one they didn't was against Wheaton.
Yeah, when they lost 35-21. Mayer in now for the extra point. It's not Mitchell. And Mayer's extra point is good. So that makes it now 47-0.
Yeah, and then you take a look, too, over the last few years, just specifically with this game between North Central and Elmhurst. Before the last couple of years, the years that I was here coaching, they're good games. 2014, I think Elmhurst had a chance to win that thing at the end. A couple things went wrong, and North Central squeaked out a victory. And they're always close ones. The last few years beforehand they were. But you look at the series record, the last 20 years have all been North Central victories. I think the last one was in 1999 was the last Elmhurst victory, and I believe it was like a 7-6 game or something like that. Both sports information directors here were generous enough to supply us those statistics, but that's something, though. When you go 20 years kind of handling a series, that's very impressive.
Was it 55-0 last year, I believe, at North Central was the final. Mayer kicking it off, and this will be Jay on the return. And he'll get tackled at the 35-yard line. Tackled on the play by Zach Whitkin.
Yeah, and that's kind of the utility purpose of Sean Jay there. He's doing everything. And I don't know if that's just giving Womack a blow because he fumbled or what it is, but he's back out on the field here to start this drive. So maybe it's just a little bit of a change of pace in the kickoff return game here for the Jays.
Jake Dehaney remains at quarterback for the Blue Jays. Going to hand it off to Womack. And Womack is going to get hit by Zach Butler. And it's going to be a tackle for a loss of 3.
Nowhere to go there for Womack. That's a pretty tough wall to try to get through. Guys like Wong and some of the other defensive front Cardinal members there. Pretty tough to defend when there's nobody blocking for you there.
Actually, a loss of 2. Kind of surprised that Noah Henkel isn't in this game yet.
Yeah, I kind of obviously scanning the sidelines. He's right there in front of us at the 40-yard line just to maybe see a change of pace there, but no Henkel so far.
Instead, it's Dehaney going to the air, and this one is caught by Tanner King, and he'll get tackled by Ben Wong across midfield to the 49-yard line of the Cardinals, and it's a first down.
Yeah, good throw there by Dehaney. That's a tight little window he threw that into. Good catch by King, and they're up to the line of scrimmage right away.
Yeah, no huddle. Here's Womack out in the flat, trying to break one tackle. He gets to the 50-yard line. He's actually going to lose a yard. Jake Beasley was there to make the stop.
Yeah, and that's the second time they've done that where they pick up a decent gain and they go up to the line of scrimmage right away, but that's the second time that they've gone right to Womack to try to get something going on a quick hitter, and North Central defensively has been able to be there both times. Beasley again on the stop for North Central.
2nd and 11 from midfield. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
50-yard line now here for the Blue Jays.
Dehaney fakes it to Womack now. Rolls, throws. Friedrich, the intended receiver, and this one is going to be picked off. Zach Butler with the pick back at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Butler, 5'9", 196-pound corner from Genoa, Kingston. The Cogs, I believe.
Oh,
right?
very good.
Yeah, see, I know my geographical Illinois high school nickname. So that was a nice catch, though. He had Friedrich there, obviously outstretched, kind of a tough catch there for Ben to come down with, but a really good play by Butler to make the interception.
Second turnover of the first half for the Blue Jays. My favorite high school nickname, the Freeport Pretzels.
The Pretzels, yeah, absolutely.
Pretzels.
Tim Vanderberg, former Elmhurst Blue Jay wide receiver, was a Freeport Pretzel.
Okay.
So, yeah, knew that one when I came down here.
Rudder back to work. They hit Greenfield out in the flat, and he's going to get about an 8-yard gain.
Out of bounds, far side.
Yeah, quick little coverage, or quick little throw out to Greenfield. Covered down the field pretty well. Elmhurst did defensively, so just a little check down on the outside and an easy gain there for the Cardinals.
Just a little over 2 minutes. It's just a pickup of 6. Second down, call it 4 yards to go. Rudder, again, almost that same play, and Greenfield will pick up the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 38.
Yeah, and if it's there, keep feeding them. I mean, if the flats are open right now, the coverage is a little bit soft where they're not wanting to get hit down the field. So Greenfield's squeaking out pretty easily and picks up another first down.
Cardinals, if you're still scoring at home, still have a timeout left. And that pass, that one is incomplete. Matt Metz, the junior out of Morton Grove, was the intended target.
Yeah, Metz got up there a little bit, and the ball was just a little bit overthrown. Good job defensively by the Jays to be on Metz there, but just a little bit of an overthrow by Brock Rudder.
Blue Jays trying to avoid getting shut out for the 3rd straight week.
And that's just a tough stretch.
Yeah. Greenfield again gets across the 40 and a second effort. We'll see if they spot it at the 41, or no, they're going to spot it at the 44. So a good second effort there by Greenfield.
Yep, clock's running here, just under 1:30 to go. Good tackle there as well by Bryce Gable, holding on there to get him stopped before the first down marker.
3rd down and 4 from the 44. Rudder to the far side. Pass is complete. Andrew Kaminsky with a nice catch, and he steps out of bounds after picking up the first down at the 47 of the Blue Jays.
No go tempo here. That was a really nice 3rd down reception there by Kaminsky. Rudder was looking one way the whole time, knew he was going to be open, had some soft off-man coverage there, and a really good job by Rudder to get the ball out in a first down.
Well, the clock was running after Kaminsky went out of bounds, so they're going to put some more time on the clock here. It's currently at 1 minute, but they're going to put a couple more seconds on the clock. 1:04. And looks like the officials are good with that. Greenfield breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, has a first down now, comes here to the near side, inside the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and he'll get brought down at the 5-yard line. 39-yard run by Greenfield.
That's a quick strike run there. I mean, you're set with maybe having to go tempo just because you only have one timeout in the clock running, but then one play brings you down inside the 5-yard line again, and now another chance here for a 3-yard touchdown for Greenfield, which would be his 3rd.
1st and goal from the 3. Greenfield has 2 3-yard touchdown runs. Will he have a 3rd? And he's down to the 1. 2-yard gain. 2nd and goal.
And they're going quick here. Yep. Obviously, you have the timeout and you're under 20 seconds to go. Rudder's trying to get him going here, and I think they're still going to get this play off.
See if they give it to Greenfield again. Oh, Rudder keeps it, and he'll get tackled for a loss by Jay.
Yeah, good job there by Sean. Obviously you're probably keying on Greenfield there. Really good job on the outside there by Jay to hold off and stay on the quarterback, and North Central's forced to call a timeout here. 9 seconds left, so you have a couple of chances before you really have to go to the field goal unit here, but a couple of the coaches are already walking out of the press box here, so we'll see what they do.
Just a tick under 10 seconds remaining here in the first half. Cardinals burn their final timeout. Boy, this Cardinal team has been impressive, Jeff, to say the least today.
Yep, and it's hard to say otherwise. I mean, you gotta say it like it is. They're a polished team, both sides of the ball, special teams as well.
Right.
But I mean, they have so many weapons on either side, and that's obviously a great job you can say on the coaching staff in terms of Coach Thorne and his assistants on the recruiting end of things. But also, once they're in the system, man, it's a polished thing, and it's the longevity of the coaching staff. A lot of those guys have been there for a while. Coach Spencer played there, and then went right into the coaching game right after. So I mean, they've been there a while and they know what they're doing, and it shows literally every year in this league.
Yeah, Brad Spencer had a great career at North Central as a wide receiver.
I think so.
Third down and goal from the 7. Rudder to the corner. Hardy with the catch, touchdown.
It's the third touchdown on that route by Hardy and Kaminsky to come down with that thing, and something Elmhurst can't figure out there in an easy pitch and catch, and you're putting up a 50 spot in the first half. That's pretty impressive.
Mayer in now for the extra point. Boy, the Cardinals, that last drive, they ran the clock beautifully. Of course, it helped with Greenfield with a couple of nice big runs that time, but during the drive, Mayer's extra point is good. 54-0 in favor of North Central.
Yeah, you typically don't see this type of spot, in a half, and obviously North Central did it last week to Carthage, putting up I think at least 49 points in the first half last week. But this is something you see more so at the level at the high school, where you see a kind of a one-sided affair. I know in South Dakota on Thursday night there was a high school game that ended 103-0. That I think the score in the end of the first half was like 79-0. So you don't typically see this, but it's just an impressive job here, both sides of the ball by the Cardinals. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of our Jays.
You mentioned the backup running back for the Cardinals is Zach Garrett out of Batavia. The Batavia Bulldogs playing a playoff game, leading Thornton 21-0 in the first half.
Making some deep runs the last few years, have the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good program over there. Here's Womack. Oh, he dropped it, and he dives on it at the 25.
Here's the product of a good bounce there, a little extracurricular activity there by the Cardinals, and a little bout of frustration there. Rightly, I mean, it's kind of a given at this point. It's frustrating. You're down as much as you are. It's not easy, and then you get a little bit of talking your way. It's hard not to react, and been there before. It's not fun.
The mental part has to be awful tough,
it's
right?
Tough,
the concentration, yeah. It's hard to maintain that.
Exactly. So you can't really fault him at this point for that.
Officially, it's at the 24-yard line. Womack, and he'll get tackled for a loss. Dan Gilroy, defensive end from Cary Grove, made the tackle to end the first half. It's been all Cardinals here at Langhorst Field in Elmhurst. North Central leading 54-0. Jeff and I will step aside, and we'll be back for third quarter action. You are logged on to BlueJayTV.com.
Why do I go to Elmhurst College?
I'm close to everything.
I need a great school at a great price.
I'm learning about myself and my role in the world.
I love a challenge.
I'm dreaming big.
But feel totally at home. I want an education with meaning.
I want to be a champion for others. I made connections for life.
I'm ready for the real world. Why do I go to Elmhurst College?
To reach my full potential.
Scotty Williams takes his place in the Hall of Fame as the most decorated football player in Elmhurst College history. From 2009 to 2012, Williams rewrote the Elmhurst record book, cementing his place as one of Elmhurst's all-time greats. A four-time All-Conference selection, Williams earned first-team All-Conference honors for 3 straight years from 2010 to 2012. He set a single-season rushing record in 2010, only to break it in 2011. During his senior year in 2012, Williams torched his own record again, rushing for 2,046 yards and 22 touchdowns while leading the Blue Jays to the NCAA playoffs for the first time in school history. Named the CCIW's Offensive Player of the Year in 2012, Williams finished his career with 5,203 yards and 50 rushing touchdowns, breaking the previous rushing record by more than 1,600 yards. Tim Lester, now the head coach at Western Michigan University, was the Blue Jays head coach for all of Williams' time at Elmhurst. Lester knew he had someone special in Williams.
Scotty was a special running back talent-wise. I mean, low center of gravity, great feet, great drive, great ball security. But his ability to keep his balance. I mean, there were times that he would disappear behind his O-line, which was huge, and he wouldn't go down. For a little guy, he ran like a big back, and it was fun to watch.
Chris Kirkpatrick was an all-conference and all-region center for the Blue Jays during the Williams era, and he knows how important Scotty was to the success of the team.
Scotty would tell you that he was a cog in the machine, and that goes back to his humble attitude towards things. Scotty was so important to our success. As we became juniors, seniors, Scotty was no longer just the stud player that was quiet and worked hard. He became vocal. Not many people know that. He was the voice in the huddle. And that voice coming from the best player and arguably best person on the team, that led us through some of those tough games.
Elmhurst College's Director of Sports Information, Kevin Juday, covered Williams from the press box. He witnessed firsthand just how hard he was to stop.
No matter how hard an opponent tried to key on Scotty to slow him down, it just was really too difficult for them to stop him. There was a game against Illinois Wesleyan on a 4th and 1 just inside the Illinois Wesleyan 40-yard line, and Elmhurst decided to go for it. Everyone in the stadium knew that Scotty Williams was going to get that ball, and Illinois Wesleyan stacked 11 guys in front, goal line defense, and Scotty just blew right past everybody, broke a tackle, was off to the races, and Elmhurst was off to the playoffs.
Lester remembers the same play as well, but for a different reason, as the play elicited some rarely seen emotion from Williams.
He got in the end zone. He did one of these, which was hilarious because I've never seen him show any emotion when he scores. And normally the line showed the emotion. He just ran over and hugged all the big boys. But when he showed a little bit of swagger for the first time in his 4 years there, it made me laugh, made me smile, made me think that he was having a ton of fun at that moment to get the ball in the biggest moment to accomplish our goal. And he popped one, and then had a little fun in the end zone, which I'll never forget.
Williams' success in 2012 culminated in him taking home All-America honors and becoming the first Elmhurst player to win the Gallardi Trophy, an award honoring the top player in Division III football.
To win the Gallardi Trophy, you have to be a great player, a great student athlete, and a great human being on top of it. And Scotty Williams checked every single one of those boxes. Everyone knew about what he was doing on the field that year, but he was also an academic All-American, and he was also actively involved in Habitat for Humanity and several other service groups. And he was one of the most humble student athletes I've ever met in my time at Elmhurst.
As humble as Williams was, Kirkpatrick also remembers Scotty joking around with his teammates.
Our senior year against Millikan, which was kind of a fabled game for us as we had to go into overtime and overtime again, and Scotty broke loose for a 99-yard touchdown run. We had given him a lot of grief over the years, including Coach Lester, about getting what we called hawked in the open field, caught in the open field. and he wasn't letting himself get caught that day. And after he scored that touchdown, as humble as he is, he was letting us know that he didn't get caught from behind.
Williams holds several titles already. Record-setting running back, All-American and Gagliardi Trophy winner. But today he adds another title. Elmhurst College Blue Jay backer Hall of Famer.
Having digital media skills is going to make a student, when they graduate, more employable. Whether they were a digital media major or a biology major, they're going to have the skills that they need to be able to tell a digital story. So they will all take a course called Digital Storytelling and a course called Story Structure. It requires communication and collaboration and innovation, and these are skills that they will be able to take with them whether they continue to work on a media project, whatever field they go into, or just life itself.
Embark on a journey to a new future with an advanced degree from Elmhurst College. Whether you want to take your career to the next level or discover an entirely new direction, Elmhurst College has a graduate program for you.
12% of our population have a master's degree. We're in a period of specialized master's degrees.
The advanced degree is a time to get more specific into some areas that you're interested in.
I believe that when you're looking for a graduate degree, you have to be ready.
You need to do some exploration up front to get some idea of what's possible, what people on the outside want and are interested in, and to begin to think about how that may match with your own abilities and interests.
Spend some time thinking about what they're passionate about, what they really enjoy, and what they want to learn more about.
But it's people that may want to better themselves in their career. They might want to look to another industry or maybe even another career. But many are coming just for that personal achievement. It's something they always wanted to do.
At Elmhurst, we believe the educational journey should be student-centered. You'll notice that difference from the moment you connect with us. You'll join a network of professionals and peers who will support you throughout your studies and your career, connecting you with employers all over the Chicago area. You'll hit the ground running, tested, proven, and ready.
I think part of the reason that a person would want to go to graduate school is so that they can get launched into their professional niche. We're able to really get to know our students personally and professionally and really challenge them, push them, and support them in all the ways that graduate students need support.
And we're also in a good position to help you clarify for yourself what your goals are, what your strengths are, what the possible matches might be for when you're done, and we will work with you to do that. So that sort of personal touch, I think, is more than just a saying here. I think it's very real in the way that we relate and interact with all of our students.
And we also help with job placement. The CPE, the Center for Professional Excellence, has been good in helping with resume building, job interviews, whatever it may take.
Our program directors will support you through every step of your journey. Elmhurst faculty aren't just experts in their fields, they're dedicated to expanding your reach with fieldwork, professional connections, and real-world experiences.
We know you. I, as program director, know every single individual who's in the program. I know why they're here. I know what they're looking to do. I know their stories. I know when situations come up that might require us to be a bit flexible and adaptable.
We really have a lot of fun, and we're really good at supporting our students through this rigorous program.
The teachers are phenomenal. I can't ask for a better school to go to.
By train or by car, from city or suburbs, our campus is easily accessible. And our proximity to Chicago, a world-class metropolitan center, means lots of opportunity for consulting projects, networking, and career advancement. You'll love the flexibility of part-time and evening options that allow you to move at the pace that works for you. In fact, some programs are offered entirely online.
We're easily able to give individualized attention to our students. We can really personalize their education.
Also connect our students with our alumni, building those relationships with their peers, building those relationships with their faculty members. Those students are able to make those connections and build lasting relationships for the future.
One of the things that inspired me within Elmhurst is to take on bigger responsibilities. I'm taking a lot of experience from the things that everyone else has done and from this cohort and from Elmhurst and trying to develop this in our company. So
overall, it's been a great experience.
You know, if your company now values you, just wait until after you go through the full program. There's absolutely no way I would be able to do what I'm doing now without this program.
Your journey builds on the students who came before you at Elmhurst. Founded in 1871, but ready for the future. So come tour our historic Arboretum campus and check out our top-notch facilities. From our state-of-the-art nursing simulation center to our speech-language hearing clinic and our small hands-on classrooms, you'll gain the skills you need to succeed.
Graduate school is affordable, and I think more to the point is a good value.
I think it's an investment in your future and an investment in a field that you are passionate about and want to pursue.
We know that going to college is a huge investment. You put your trust and time in Elmhurst College, and we do the same. You invest in us, and we invest in you.
I'd love to tell students not to look back. You want to always look forward, and they tend to gain momentum as they get into the program. At the end, it's just a wonderful thing when you're handed that diploma and you're able to celebrate with all your friends and family.
Pursue your graduate work at Elmhurst College and take that life-changing journey to your successful future.
I would say the typical student, however, might be someone who says that they like GIS, maybe they've had a taste of it somewhere in a previous class. We have geography majors, political science majors. They might have specialized in environmental studies or biology. We even have people in economics and healthcare, military people. In the military currently, the people can come in almost with any kind of a background because it's going to be applicable in understanding the spatial distribution of whatever it is that they're looking at. The software that we use for the most part of our program is Esri's ARC Suite, I want to call it. And so a lot of programs that are done in ArcMap and ArcPro connect into a cloud platform in ArcGIS Online. So we incorporate all three of those. A lot of students enjoy programming, and so they'll enjoy it, like the Python and the geodatabases course, and that's maybe the job that they're going to be doing, maybe even writing algorithms. Other students really like the cartographic aspect. They like making maps, and so once that data is collected and put into the GIS system for analysis, they're the ones that get to manipulate the colors and the lines and the shapes, and sometimes even produce maps that'll be printed or put in web settings. Once you become more proficient in GIS, there's actually different jobs and different opportunities. Someone who really tends to like the satellite imagery or LiDAR, they might be more interested in focusing on remote sensing. Other people really they're much more into the GIS, where they can download data, you can get real-time data. Those people tend to become GIS technicians or analysts. We have people who really like to be out in the field, and so they might be more into the data collection. It's one thing to go into the program thinking I want to be a GIS analyst, but it's another thing to keep your mind open that there really are a lot of possibilities.
So I'm emailing everybody, no response. The contest element was yesterday, and I looked and I'm like, all right, I got 4 guys who are done, 4 that are out. I'm like, one is a last minute guy. I know this guy, he always does it the afternoon. We'll be fine with the guy from Michigan. I'm like, I'll call Jeff. Jeff's on, like Jeff Haight and Trine is usually on top of it. Yeah. Gave him a call. I was like, yeah, I'm on it. Okay. Left a message for my other new guy. Fine. Never heard from this one, so I call her voicemail. I get a text 2 minutes later. I won't play my Tigers this year, so I'm not really part of the membership anymore. He's like, this is like, what do we do? Like, I think if anything, we should actually do it in Hawaii. Otherwise, I totally would have done it like bigger than this.
Welcome back to Langhorst Field. We are moments away from getting the third quarter underway. It has been all North Central, 54-0 here at the break. The Cardinals over the Blue Jays, and Jeff, boy, looking at the first half numbers, I don't know where to start. Just 441 total yards for North Central, just 51 for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, just domination both sides of the ball by the North Central Cardinals, and we said it earlier in the second half or in the second quarter. You just got to kind of tell it like it is. I mean, well-oiled machine, both sides of the ball. North Central. Brock Rutter on the day, 23 of 28, 277 yards. 6 touchdowns. I mean, that's in a half. That's
in one half, yeah.
Exactly. And but they're also doing it on the run. Greenfield's got 182 yards off of 17 carries, so he's averaging 10 yards a pop. They're getting it done both sides of the ball. Obviously, they have a lot of weapons to be able to throw the ball on the offensive side of things, but then you also have a plethora of defensive players that are making big plays. Ben Wong, I'm thinking of, inside at the linebacker spot. Jake Beasley at cornerback, a really good defensive line. So it is really both sides of the ball. North Central is just really taking it to Elmhurst today.
Greenfield now over 1,000 yards rushing for the season with his performance here today. Meanwhile, Jake Tahaney, 5 of 15 passing, 1 interception.
Not a lot of time in the backfield today. Jake is not getting a lot of help up front, unfortunately, and spoke to that in the sense of just a kind of a younger, unpolished offensive line.
First downs, North Central with 22, the Blue Jays with just 3. North Central 7 of 7 in red zone chances. They have been awful impressive, no question. And you talked about this earlier, a well-balanced team. There really is no flaws.
No, and it's something that's going to carry a long way deep into November, into the playoffs. I mean, this is a playoff caliber team in Division III football, primed to make a run, and this is how they are every year. I mean, you look at their records over the last 10, 15 years. I mean, they can get past the second, third round of the NCAAs. Like we said earlier, they're always running into Wheaton usually at the end. But regardless of that, though, I mean, when you're trying to find something where you can say, okay, they made a mistake here doing this, or there's something wrong with this, there's not a lot other than the fact that, you know, they've gotten some penalties, and actually they just got a penalty right now for not showing up on time, which is kind of funny here. If you look at the sideline, there's not a ton of Cardinals over there, and I think they're going to get a delay of game. But really, that's the only thing that's keeping them away from saying you're playing almost a near perfect game is the penalties that they're getting. Things that are setting them back 10 yards on a hold, or some things that are happening, a procedure penalty, but then they're still able to pick up first downs on those penalties. So it's a well-balanced machine, and again, we said it multiple times, they're primed to make a run.
I don't know if I've ever seen that in football. I've seen it in basketball where the team comes out late after halftime, but in football, half the Cardinal football team is still getting warm. Looks like they're in R.A. Fagin Hall there. Now they're making the track over here, but
and that's one of the funny things that kind of a quirk of playing at Elmhurst College is the away team. You got to go back to Fagin Hall for halftime, which isn't a walk, right down the street. I mean, it is. You literally have to cross the street and into the parking lot to get over there, and it's not the easiest walk. So you got to budget that within your halftime time. And Cardinals just took a little bit longer than usual, and I don't know. Usually you see it the other way. When you're down 54-0, it's tough to come out after halftime for that. But Elmhurst was ready to go. Credit to Coach McDonald and his staff, and it'll be fun to see what they do here. I mean, again, learning experiences with a younger team. Obviously, you got to be real and say, all right, this one for all intents and purposes is over. But there's things you can learn. There's things you can build on here, and you have a game next week against a team that you should on paper win. North Park right now, I believe, they're over at this point in the season. And I know last week they had a tight one with Carroll. They ended up losing 26-14. But that's a game, when you're looking at the top and bottom of the CCIW, it's a winnable game for North Park, and they ended up losing, so they're still over. This game next week could be a chance for Elmhurst to get another victory. And realistically, they're going to climb out of the cellar of the CCIW here as opposed to last year. And 2 wins in this league, that's better than last year, and they can do that. So building on what they do this week could really show what next week will be.
Setting little goals in this second half. Obviously, you mentioned you're not going to come back down this big, but get a couple of first down, maybe get a score, get on the board, and maybe going against their second or third units, but still you get on the board, and as you said, get some momentum into next week against a winnable North Park team. Yeah, and it's always, like I said, it's an interesting trip to go to North Park because you're in the city, you get dressed at the athletic complex where the gym is, then you're literally walking in a Chicago neighborhood a couple blocks to get to the home ground field, and it's an interesting experience that it's not your normal college campus, and it's pretty fun to be able to go to North Park and play, and it's definitely a winnable game for the Blue Jays next week. Ball falls off the tee, so Mayer is going to get some help here. Kicking with the wind, and it'll be Coney, goes over his head, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. So another touchback here, and Blue Jays will go to work here to start the third quarter. Yeah, and that was interesting because we mentioned it earlier in the game. North Central kicked off to start the game, and they just kicked off to start the second half. So interesting there. But quick little score update. I was able to pull some scores. Actually, Illinois Wesleyan just took the lead over Milliken in the third quarter in Bloomington. 13-12 the score between the Titans and the Big Blue.
Last score I had down in Wash U was the Bears up on Augustana 14-0 in that one. And then after this play, we'll go talk a few more.
Big Ten, Northwestern and Indiana playing tonight. And that pass, Richie Zacharias was the intended receiver here on the near side. D'Angelo Robertson was there on the coverage.
Yeah, and Richie looking for a flag there, but pretty good coverage on the defensive side there by the Cardinals. And I like the play call on 1st and 10. Try to take a shot and see what happens, but unfortunately there for the Jays, good coverage by Robertson. Carthage up 32-7 on North Park at halftime.
Aurora University leading Benedictine 7-6 in the second quarter of that game. And that one is caught by the tight end Ben Friedrich. It's going to be a minimal gain, though, gain of about 3.
Yep, moving the ball forward, getting the ball in the hands of people you're supposed to, and good tackle there by Butler for the Cardinals as well.
Central Michigan leading Northern Illinois 48-10 in the fourth quarter.
Wheaton up on Carroll 30-6 also in the third. There are your CCIW scores for the day.
Play clock down to 7. Haney clapping of the hands, and now he's going to step up and get across the 30, 35, and he'll get, whipped around, spun around, and then whipped down. It's going to be a first down, though, for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, good tough run there by Jake to get to the stick and get a little bit more. And, yeah, it took a little bit of a almost close to a horse collar tackle there, but no flag on the play. But, you know, that's the type of player Jake is. He's going to bounce right up right away after a run like that and get back to the huddle, and he's not going to be looking for a flag. He's going to be looking for the next play. Good run there by Haney.
Just the 4th first down of the game for the Blue Jays. 1st and 10 Elmhurst from its own 38 to Haney, I should say, over the middle. Friedrich, the intended receiver, that's incomplete.
Yeah, and this has been the problem all day, trying to find that matchup. Ben's getting some space in the middle, getting open, and the throws just haven't been there. Another kind of just some miscommunication between the quarterback and the tight end. But you're seeing, some glimpses here of the ability to at least get the ball down the field a little bit here. But Cardinals do have some new personnel in on the defensive side.
2nd down and 10 from the 38. Haney to Womack, and Treston will get close to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 2.
Yeah, so another 3rd and long situation here, unfortunately, for the Jays. You take a look at the North Central 2-deep as well. You get size of guys and things of that nature. A lot of these second-team guys on paper probably play at a lot of other places.
You bet. 3rd down and 8. Haney going to pitch it this time to Antrobus. And Anthony gets close to midfield and is going to pick up another first down. Boy, nice run.
Yeah, really good job on the outside. Really good patience by Anthony to kind of wait to turn the corner there. Good job on the outside by Richie Zacharias there and Friedrich on the outside perimeter blocking. Enough to pick up a first down. And, hey, we're on the right side of the 50 here.
Another first down for the Blue Jays. 1st and 10 from the 48 of the Cardinals. Haney going to hand it off. Anthony again straight up the middle. And he'll get about, maybe a yard to the 47.
Yeah, a couple of yards there. Maybe we'll just call it 1. But on the stop there is Tommy Highland. It's fun when, with college football, you got a 100-man roster, so you got some double numbers. And it's always interesting when you got defensive linemen wearing single-digit numbers like Highland does there. And he's a guy, he's been on that roster for a couple of years now. He's a junior. But it's funny, number 9, playing D-tackle.
Speaking of 9, it is 2nd down and 9. Anthony again, the ball carrier, back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long here for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we're seeing Antrobus a little bit here more in the second half, and he's a young guy. He's a sophomore, getting some more experience here, and he's the type of guy where, Womack and Bethke are both seniors. he's going to be number one in the, you know, just into spring ball. He's going to be the guy in terms of getting the most reps during spring ball. So this bodes well with the confidence, and he looks like a good running back, just his frame.
Haney looked left, nothing there. Now he rolls out to his right. He's going to keep it. He'll have the first down and more. Keeps his balance inside the 30 and brought down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Zach Butler with the tackle, but a nice run by Haney.
Yeah, really good job there by Jake. And this is where he's finally making a good decision here when he gets out on that sprint out action. He's waiting as long as he can to see if the receivers can, you know, get into the route and get open. A lot of times there he throws it into coverage. This time he tucks it and runs, and he almost outran his feet there. He stumbled over his feet a little bit there, but was able to pick up a great gain. And now you're inside the 30 here in the third quarter for the first time today.
Third first down of this drive. They had 3 first downs the entire first half. Haney has his man Friedrich, the tight end, and near another first down inside the 15.
Yeah, this is good. This is a really good drive. And like we said, yeah, there might be not all the ones in right now for the Cardinals, but their twos are pretty darn good. So this is a confidence boost. You see the offensive line, they're getting excited here. They know, okay, we're in striking distance here, boys. Let's get up. And again, this is something that bodes well for the future weeks here, and definitely a winnable game next week against North Park.
10-yard catch by Ben, so it's the 4th first down of this drive. Approaching the 10-minute mark here of this third quarter. Haney here, and Friedrich comes down with a touchdown. 14 yards from Haney to Ben Friedrich.
That's a really good throw by Haney and a really good catch by Friedrich. And you know what's awesome about that is they've been going to each other all game here. Haney trusts him. It's his safety valve, kind of, so to speak. But the kid's good. I mean, he gets up and makes a really good catch there. And for Friedrich, that's his 2nd touchdown of the year.
20th catch of the season as well. And the extra point is good to make it 54-7. So indeed, the Blue Jays do get on the board. They avoid the shutout, and really a nice drive there, Jeff.
Yeah, a really good drive. And it started with the return. Obviously, you know, didn't get it out of the end zone, but they were able to move the ball on 1st and 2nd downs for the first time pretty much all game, which you need that, obviously, when you're not being able to move the ball on 1st and 2nd down and nothing's really going good. Obviously, your drives aren't going to stall. So this drive, they're able to move the ball on 1st and 2nd down, picked up a lot of first downs, more than they've had the previous 3 or 2 quarters. And yeah, it's kind of a shot in the arm for this team here to get the confidence going offensively. But you still have, that drive took only about 5 minutes and 2 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see the personnel that the Cardinals come out with here to start their offensive series in the second half.
So Matt Burns will tee it up at the 35-yard line. Back deep, Zach Garrett for the Cardinals. 9:58 remaining here in the third on a chilly Saturday afternoon here at Elmhurst.
The wind today, it's blowing the ball off the tee on the kickoffs, and that might drive the kicker mad, but it also drives the play clock operator mad, because then he has to reset the clock, and he's sitting right next to me, so I know he's frustrated every single time that happens. So unfortunately, it happened again just now.
Well, this is going to be a low-line drive. And from the 20-yard line, the return, Jarrett Kreider with a nice return as he brings it back across the 45. Well, actually, they're going to spot it at the 44, it looks like.
Flag just came down there as well on the far side, on the north-central sidelines. A couple of good runners down the field there. Elmhurst defensively, Derek McCollum could have had a chance at a tackle, and he overran the return a little bit, but guys are showing some speed out there, which is good to see. Let's see what this flag's about here from the official here at the 50.
Unsportsmanlike against the Cardinals.
So that'll set them back 15 from the end of the run.
It was a 19-yard return, but that will get brought back. 5 penalties in the first half for North Central, just 1 penalty in the first half for Elmhurst. Brings it all the way back to the 29.
Jays are, well coached, well disciplined team, so it's not surprising that they only really had the 1 penalty in the first half.
And so a new quarterback there for North Central. This is going to be Jake Johnson, a 6'1" freshman from Lakes High School. So the day is done, apparently, for Brock Rudder. 6 touchdown passes in the first half.
Yeah, that's an impressive game, let alone an impressive half.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a phenomenal number.
2nd down and 8 now for Johnson and the Cardinals. Jake steps back, has time, throws it here to the near side. That ball was, it was nearly picked off, but the catch by Kreider.
There's a lot happening on that play. Stephen Postman had an opportunity to make a break on that because the ball was up in the air. Also, at the same time, a good throw by Johnson to get it to Kreider there. But that's we say it every week when a throw comes from that opposite hash mark. That's a tough throw, and he was able to still get it out there. Granted, maybe a little wind aided, but Postman also had a chance to make a play on that ball defensively for Elmhurst.
Yeah, that's a long way to throw it. Postman read it beautifully. 3rd down and 2, and that was deflected, and it's going to be incomplete. It was deflected, I believe, by Zach Hazelhoff.
Yeah, Zach Hazelhoff, 6', 200 junior from Kalamazoo Christian, guy that's been in and out of the lineup the last couple of years for the Jays. So it's good to see him coming up with a big play. And I believe this is the first punt of the day. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You
for the
are
Cardinals.
correct. No punts in the entire first half. First punt attempt here by Thomas Mitchell. Sean Jay is back deep for the Blue Jays. 8:45 remaining here in the 3rd. Wow, nice punt. Jay from his own 20-yard line, straight up the middle, and he'll get tackled after about a 7-yard return. Tackled by Sam Taviani.
Yeah, good coverage there by Taviani. They looked like the gunner on the play there. Got down the field nice and quickly. Good punt. Clean field there by Jay. Didn't take the fair catch and was trying to fight for some yards up the field. But in any event, a stop there defensively for Elmhurst and another chance to put some points on the board.
Taviani out of Downers Grove North High School, the Trojans, winning their opening round playoff game last night, knocking off Maine West 35-14. They'll advance to the 2nd round and take on Wheaton Warrenville South. The Tigers with a 50-23 win over Harlem in the opening round. Class 7A playoffs in the IHSA football tournament.
It's an interesting matchup, Harlem and Wheaton South. That you don't even see that in the regular season too often.
Good, the teacher strike ended, CPS, so all those schools playing in the playoffs.
Yep. Now for IHSA, do they seed, obviously they seed 1 through the side of the bracket, right?
Right.
But in terms of home and away games, it seems different than it is for other, like it's just kind of almost luck of the draw.
Pretty much, yeah.
Interesting.
Tahaney over here to the near side. This is Tanner King, and he's going to make the reception to the 35-yard line, so it's a 6-yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down, call it 2 here, Jeff. So another opportunity for the Blue Jays to pick up a first and move the chains.
Yeah, a little cushion on the outside here. Opportunities for some hitches. Just make sure you know where the sticks are to get the first down. I could be wrong here. I don't anticipate anything up the middle here with that defensive line. But we'll see what Coach McAvoy drew up here for 3rd and short.
Tanner King, single coverage to the bottom of your monitor. 3rd down and 2. Instead, they go the other way, and that one is incomplete. Intended for number 88. That's Hayden Beck, the tight end. So interesting call here. 4th and 2, and it looks like Burns is going to come in to kick.
Yeah, and they motion out Frederick, which makes sense. You're almost using him as a decoy at that point to get the ball out to Beck, kind of on that valve play with the tight end. And it looked like he got tripped up a little bit going into his route, which mistimed the throw by Tahaney. But a good concept there to try to pick up the first down.
Blue Jays converting just 21% of their 3rd down opportunities. Oh, they're going to fake it here. Burns is going to throw, and King has it inside the 40, but it's enough for a first down. How about that?
Yeah, what the heck? Why not? You know, that's going to be more something on the North Central sidelines where, you know, there's going to be some frustration there on giving that up, and that's going to be talked about tomorrow in film. And, you know, they'll clean that up for next week. But, you know, a good job there by Burns, who, you know, he's actually had to throw a couple of balls on some fake punts this year. So we've seen some trickery on the special teams part of Elmhurst all year, and it paid off there for a first down.
Yeah, one thing about Coach McDonald, he's not afraid to use the trick plays.
I don't mind it.
Womack gets the pitch. Boy, that's some good defensive pursuit by the Cardinals.
Yeah, really good spill there by the Cardinal defense. Not a lot of running room for Womack on the short side there, and he was bottled up quickly by about 3 or 4 Cardinals.
Just over 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Blue Jays getting on the board here. 14-yard pass play from Jake Dehaney to Ben Friedrich. And it's 54-7, North Central with the lead. Dehaney throwing it, and that one is caught, but was he out of bounds? And the answer is yes. King out of bounds, so it's going to bring up third down and long here for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised on how much they're featuring King on the outside here. I mean, it goes to show how athletic the kid is, but I mean, he's played most of the year on the defensive side of things, and you know, just based on numbers, they've got to bring him over and play outside receiver. But he's shown his worth today, came up with the fourth down catch, and he's been targeted multiple times here by the quarterback as well.
Another third down situation here for the Blue Jays. 4 wide receivers. Dehaney's going to step up and run the ball. Ooh, and it'll get hit hard at the 44-yard line. Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Cole Griffin with the hit.
The hit was big, and he hit his head on the turf there. And you had a number of Jays right away pointing to the trainers, and they got out quick. But you don't want to see this, obviously. And hopefully Jake gets up here, but this is a tough look for sure. I mean, that when it's cold out, you got your head on the ground like that. I mean, obviously that artificial turf does have some cushion to it, but that's still not a good hit.
Yeah,
the defender couldn't do anything about it, but it's tough.
It's got to be a hard surface, no question. Everybody on the sidelines on a knee here, hoping that Jake is going to be okay. Yeah, we saw that all the way up here. It was a hard, clean tackle, but his helmet, his head hit the ground pretty hard.
Yeah, just the way his body was torqued and the momentum it came down onto the ground with it. It's something you can't avoid, obviously. It's, again, you want to put the emphasis on the fact that wasn't intentional by any means, but you know, one thing that's really too bad about this whole situation is the fact that Jake is the senior leader of the team. You know, he's battled injuries not only this year but last year as well. And he also fought a position change as well. I mean, last year as a junior, mostly played receiver towards the back end of the year, which wasn't his natural position when he was getting recruited here. I mean, he was a talented quarterback at Hazlitt and was immediately kind of thrust into the backup role as a freshman under Orlando Hernandez. So, I mean, he hasn't gotten on the field probably as much as he'd like to in the 4 years that he's here, but he's really made an impact on this program. No doubt about it. That's why it's really tough to see this.
While we got a second here, we'd like to invite our viewers to log on Tuesday night to BlueJayTV.com as we will bring you Blue Jay Volleyball CCIW Conference Tournament opening round, and we see Jake now under his own power walking off, and that's a good sign. Yeah, I mean, anytime he can get up on his own will and you don't have to wheel out a stretcher or anything like that, it's good. And you know, chances are at this point we'll probably see Noah Hinkle come in for the rest of the day. But, you know, it's tough. Like I said, it's when you're down this much and the harder your offense goes down, it's tough to see. But it's also good to see that he's up on his own power. So Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, Blue Jay volleyball. The Blue Jays will be taking on Augustana in the opening round of the CCIW Conference Tournament. I'll bring that match to you, 7 o'clock, here on BlueJayTV.com. So log on, Tuesday night. Burns, the rugby style, it looked like he wanted to throw it, but at the very last second he decided to punt, and the Cardinals will take over 1st and 10 from their own 29.
Yeah, his athleticism is showing through and through today. So he's able to go rugby style, fake the throw, and put the punt down, and did it with a Cardinal in his face, and a good punt as well. So
yep.
Cardinals will start inside their own 40 today, or in this drive, I should say.
By the way, if the Blue Jays do defeat Augustana Tuesday night in volleyball, they will go to Carthage next Thursday. Carthage, the #1 seed in the CCIW tournament for women's volleyball. Fake the handoff. They throw it out here into the flat, and the catch and the run by Kreider, and he's going to go all the way. Kreider is going to take it 71 yards for the touchdown. No flags, Jared Kreider.
Yeah, quick little pitch and catch. And one thing that, obviously the run by Kreider after the catch was really impressive. One of the more impressive parts of that play was the outside block by Corey Blair, #1, the outside receiver there for the Cardinals. The outside guys at Elmhurst had no chance. And then, the run down by Haselhoff on the backside trying to angle him out, kind of almost went for the wrong guy, almost to the point where he's like, I probably can't catch the guy with the ball. I'm going to see what I can do here. But he went virtually untouched after that initial catch and run.
Jake Johnson with the hold. The extra point by Mayer is good. So a big play by the North Central College Cardinals here, as the score now 61-7. Scoreboard for a second there lost its power, but the lights are back on.
Hopefully we paid the bill.
Yeah. Speaking of lights, it's getting a bit dark here at Langhorse Field. The lights are not on yet.
No, they're just, I think maybe that's the reason why they're on.
They're on now, you're right.
Now, and maybe the
power
surge jotted the scoreboard out for a second. Maybe that was it, but they're needed, definitely. And you know what, I think, what is it, probably been 5 or 6 years that the lights have been, they used to have the artificial lights there for a few years,
yeah.
And they finally got the ones in place.
5:07 remaining here in the third quarter. 61-7. We mentioned earlier the highest offensive output for North Central this year, 77 against North Park back on September 28th.
Now it's probably a game where they were, more than able to put up more than that 77.
Yeah. And this is going to be taken by Coney, dropped it, and now he's just going to decide to fall on it back at the 15-yard line.
I don't know if, he has a great Monday through Friday practice-wise, and Saturday when he's back there it gets a little shaky. That's one of the, I think that's his second actual muff of the day, but not a lot of confidence back there. And you've seen Jay back there once. You've seen Womack obviously back there a few times, but, hopefully if the next one, Coney's back there, goes to him, hopefully he gets a little bit more confidence and catches that thing. We have Richie Zacharias in at quarterback right now.
Yeah. So interesting. He's going to hand it off to Womack. So Richie Zacharias, and I'm just wondering if that means that Noah Henkel, if something is wrong with him as to why he's not in there. He's had some time. We mentioned him and Tahaney kind of split time at quarterback this season.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Noah's down there dressed. Obviously not taking the snaps today. And a little bit more about Richie. He's listed obviously as a receiver, and he's playing most of his reps so far this year at receiver. He's 6'3", 190 from Ridgewood. He came in last year as a transfer from UW-Platteville. And came here, like I said, as a transfer last year.
That high snap goes over, and Womack, and it's still loose into the end zone. Ball is still loose. And who finally has it? It looks like North Central does, and it is a touchdown. So the bad snap, the result, North Central with a touchdown, and we've got another injured Blue Jay.
Yeah, Womack's down in the end zone.
Oh, boy.
And it's a big piling on at this point. And then I'm not saying North Central's piling it on in the sense of the word. I'm just saying these unfortunate instances are happening where if you had a fumble, and now actually you got multiple injuries. You got a Cardinal down in the end zone as well. And you don't want to see this on either side of the sidelines. And obviously it's an unfortunate snap and kind of a hot potato in the end zone and a touchdown for the Cardinals, but you got injuries on both sides now, and that's unfortunate.
The ball was down in the end zone, kind of bounced around for a good 4 or 5 seconds before finally the Cardinal player pounced on it and scored a touchdown. Boy, for the Blue Jays, before this game started, they were out with their leading receiver, Casey Dobchek, and a good runner in Brock Bethke. Now Jake Dehaney went down with an injury, and now Tristan Womack is down in the end zone.
Yeah, and I mean, you still got 2 games left after this.
Yeah.
It's not like this is week 10 and you can go in with this, but you have your best offensive players are not out there, not able right now, and so you're going to have a receiver taking snaps at quarterback right now. You're going to have a sophomore who hasn't been a feature back all year getting the reps at running back, and it's right now it's the lack of depth that Elmhurst has, which is what's holding them back right now as a team at the moment.
Yeah. Well, Tristan is coming off under his own power, Jeff, but he is limping, and it's not looking good for him.
Right.
Doesn't look like, just based from what I've seen, that he's going to be back in this game.
When he's getting carried off, I mean, he's walking on his own power, but he's getting help with it.
Right. That's not a good sign.
No.
And, boy, I just hope it is not the knee.
Yeah.
Tristan, as Jeff mentioned, a senior. It'd be a tough way to end your collegiate career.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate for him, obviously, and for Jake, but you got some teammates going there giving him some love, which is great to see.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it means it's something probably pretty serious, and guys don't want that to happen, so they want to make sure they know that we got your back, buddy. That's really tough to see, and it's tough because for me, I coach Tristan, and he's an unbelievable kid, and you don't want to see it end that way if it's something that serious.
Johnson on the hold. The extra point by Mayer is good to make it 68-7 Cardinals.
Yeah, and that last touchdown there was, that was their easiest one of the day. It was a gift, but it all started with just an unfortunate snap, unfortunately, and Richie Zacharias wasn't able to come up with that one. It was a little off center, obviously, but they'll get another chance here, and hopefully can make something of this drive.
Well, we got a chance here. Special thanks to the Director of Sports Information here at Elmhurst, Mr. Kevin Jude, for providing us with all the stats, the game notes, and the rosters that we needed to bring you the game here this afternoon. We thank him for his efforts. 4:12 remaining here in this third quarter.
We're blessed actually to have both SIDs in the box today.
Yes.
That's a treat. Yeah.
And the great thing about Kevin, he provides us with lunch at halftime too. Great sub sandwiches here at halftime.
Still waiting for the sloppy joes, but I'll take Jersey Mike's too.
It's going to be another touchback here, so the Blue Jays will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Well, Jeff, I know Halloween was 2 days ago, but I'm going to give you and the viewers a treat right now.
All right.
I am going to give you and everybody an extra hour of sleep tonight. How about that? Turn your clocks back an hour tonight.
Fall back.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Best weekend of the year.
There
I think,
you go.
right?
That's right. So Richie Zacharias in there. And he's going to hand the ball off. And, boy, going nowhere there. Antrobus.
In the snap, the snap exchange there, everything was a little bit off, and it's tough. That's what happens when you put a receiver or at the quarterback spot. I mean, it's not going to be flawless either way, but you can just tell right now it's a little uncomfortable for him back there, and that's even going to the part where you got your skill guys on the outside here looking in at the play, and we got to remember there's a play clock here, so we got to be still a little tempoed here, even though it's the game's not in doubt anymore.
The starting tight end Ben Friedrich limping off, so he's off the field now. Antrobus gets the call, and he'll spin at the 20-yard line. It's going to be a loss of about 3.
Yeah, and he's just got nowhere to go. Not a lot of help out front, and a really good job here by the North Central defense, just spilling that thing out to the outside, and a number of guys out there ready to make the play.
Coming up on the 3-minute mark here of this third quarter.
And you got a couple of different guys on the outside and that haven't gotten too many reps over the last few weeks. Logan Teckington here down on our sideline, split out at the 20-yard line. He's a sophomore from Grand Ledge High School in Michigan. Bad snap again.
Yep, and Zacharias is just going to get thrown down to the ground by Tyler Rich. Big number 99, the 6'4" sophomore from Pontiac Township. And so the Blue Jays are going to punt.
Yeah, and now you're inside your 20-yard line, and the snaps haven't been great. Obviously we got a good long snapper though, Aiden Rademacher. He's a junior from Mount Zion, been in the program for a few years, and he was snapping right away as a freshman. So I mean, can count on this thing will be just fine for Matt Burns. Mount Zion, coached by the former Milliken coach, Patrick Etherton.
Good snap, Burns with a high kick, and that one's fair caught by Rummel at the 43-yard line. 42-yard line, check that. So Cardinal football here with 1:52 to go here in the third.
Yeah, and you're looking at pretty much similar personnel on the defensive side right now that Elmhurst has had pretty much the whole game. Obviously some new numbers up front for the Cardinals on the offensive line, but Johnson in for his second drive for North Central at quarterback.
Boy, the Blue Jays after this one, they are going to have quite a few injuries to deal with when they head to North Park next week. That pass to the far side out in the flat is incomplete, a little bit underthrown to Jared Kreider.
Yeah, and that was definitely a forward pass. Obviously Jay's looking there for the scoop, but yeah, that was an incomplete pass, and it stops the clock with 1:47 to go here in the third.
Sure, with Jake Dehaney, they're going through the concussion protocol, I'm sure.
Yeah, you got Jake and Treston sitting there together at the 50-yard line, and Brock Bethke walking up to him now, and that's just tough to see. 3 seniors there.
Yeah, no question. That's tough. Garrett, the ball carrier. Zach Garrett, as Jeff mentioned, from Batavia. Brings it down to the 37.
You're looking at the top 25 here a little bit in terms of the scoreboard. Some games already finished up, and last week Mary Hardin-Baylor barely got past Hardin-Simmons on a last-second field goal. They beat Louisiana College today 82-0, so they bounced back after a close one last week. So
going to hand it off here to Garrett, straight up the middle. He's going to have a first down and tackled from behind at the 23-yard line. Tackled on the play by Zach Hazelhoff.
Yeah, Hazelhoff's having himself a really good half here, getting involved really well defensively at the end spot for the Jays.
Under a minute to go here in the third. Jake Johnson in at quarterback, replacing Brock Rudder. Zach Garrett gets the call here. He replaces Ethan Greenfield, and he takes it to the red zone at the 20-yard line, right at the 20.
LeVar Little with the stop there.
3-yard pickup for Garrett. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 See if the Cardinals get off another play here with 10 seconds to go in the quarter.
So if they get this thing off, obviously this will be the last play of the quarter.
They indeed do get it off. Johnson is going to throw it.
Of course, they throw an incomplete. Well, the clock's out, so I was right. All right, fair enough.
Intended for Nick Rummel. So that will end the third quarter. Langhorst Field here in Elmhurst. The visiting Cardinals of North Central leading comfortably 68-7. So we get set for the final 15 minutes of this one.
Some other scores around the top 25 in Division III. St. John's, number 4 ranked team in the country right now, playing host to Concordia Moorhead, who struggling a little bit by their standards this year, but they're actually playing right now to a 12-12 tie in the second quarter. So that's a close one. And another great Division III league, obviously, the CCIW, the Minnesota League, the Wisconsin League, the Ohio League. Those are your top Division III conferences. And it's usually down between St. Thomas and St. John's, but this year I think it'll be the Johnnies if they can kind of run the table there in that league.
Some high school scores from last night, in case you're interested. Mount Carmel defeated Eisenhower 61-14. St. Rita over Glenbard South 49-14. Prospect over DeKalb 55-53.
Did you see the Peoria score last night?
I did not.
Forget who they were playing, but it was 78-58.
Oh, jeez.
I just happened to see that this morning on Twitter. And it was like the first quarter was like 38-20 something. It's unbelievable. I mean, that's every 2 downs you're scoring a point. And Peoria's quarterback is Gabe Hernandez, who is the brother of former Blue Jay Orlando.
Oh, okay.
So, and Gabe can sling it too, just like his brother.
Well,
so.
maybe Gabe will come here to Elmhurst like his brother.
See.
Huh? Johnson throwing it to the far side. The out pattern is incomplete. Jake looking up at the sky. Is, have to say, my bad. Julian, check that. Corey Blair was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Daniel Jean-Baptiste on the coverage on the outside there for the Jays. So a fourth down here for the Cardinals, and obviously they're not rushing up to the line of scrimmage to get this thing off, but they'll keep the offense out here and get another play in the red zone here.
Fourth down. 4th and 7 from the 20-yard line. The Cardinals are 1 of 1 on 4th down conversions today. Face a 4th down and 7 here. Johnson dropped it, picked it up, throws, and he's got his man Blair. It's going to be a first down. First and goal at the 5. 15-yard catch there by Corey Blair.
Yeah, and Johnson had enough time there to, low snap, hit the ground. He was still able to get enough protection up front to take a look around, and Blair was wide open over the middle there. You want to say an easy pitch and catch, but it really was there on a 4th and long opportunity for Elmhurst to make a stop.
First and goal, Cardinals from the 5. Johnson, he's going to keep it, fake to Garrett, and Johnson is going to go into the end zone untouched. 5-yard touchdown run by Jake Johnson.
Yeah, they really sold out on Garrett there, thinking he was going to get the ball, and there was not a Blue Jay in sight getting on Johnson there, and that ups the score to 74-7 with 14-14 to go here in the 4th quarter.
If you're just logging on and you're wondering about Brock Rutter, what he did, I'll give you his final numbers here. Mayer in for the extra points for the Cardinals. And the extra point by Mayer is good to make it 75-7. Rutter, 23 of 28 passing for 277 yards, 6 touchdown passes, all in the first half. Yeah. So his tremendous career at North Central continues.
Yeah, and that's a great stat line for 4 quarters, and he was able to knock that thing out in just 30 minutes of football.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And we mentioned it, on that prior North Central drive, they didn't punt the ball one time the entire first half and into the 3rd quarter. That is about as efficient as you can get.
Yeah. Back at the high school level, Marist over Glenbard East last night, 49-7. Brother Rice beat Bartlett 28-8. Fremd shut out Plainfield North 19-0. Hersey shutting out Rockford Auburn 49-0.
Another strange matchup you don't normally see in the
Yeah,
regular
exactly.
season.
I'll be at a good one tonight. Loyola and Maine South.
Yeah.
First round action. First time those two teams have played against each other in the first round of the playoffs.
You typically you wait for Champaign or DeKalb to see that one usually.
Right. Pretty nice return there by Sean Jay as he crosses the 30-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 33.
Yeah, I keep one eye on the Illinois playoffs and one eye on Wisconsin.
There you go.
And I obviously when you told me that Loyola and Marist were playing today, I was like, wow, that's a surprising first-round matchup. But
yeah,
speaks well to how those programs run pretty much every year. Or I'm sorry, not Marist, Maine South.
Maine South. David Insera, the head coach there, and of course John Holasek, the head coach of the Ramblers.
Former Blue Jay Tony Menestra coaching at Loyola.
Zacharias handing it off. Anthony Antrobus dances his way to the 35 for a gain of 2. Well, our final telecast here on BlueJayTV.com 2 weeks from today when the Blue Jays will entertain the Wheaton Thunder. 1 o'clock kickoff. That'll be on November 16th.
Yeah, and that'll be a chance for Wheaton, to obviously clinch the league that week.
Yeah.
And they're still perfect at this point in the season.
Zacharias has some time. Pass overthrown. Tanner King was the intended target. But you've got Zacharias, the starting wide receiver, throwing it to Tanner King, a starting linebacker.
Yeah, you can't really say much about it other than, well, that's just the state where it's at right now.
Yeah, you got to fill in the holes where you can, right?
Yeah, and you could tell, Richie wasn't exactly the most comfortable making that throw. His feet are a little shaky there, and he's just looking for something, a pocket to throw into, and that was well overthrown. Tough situation here again on 3rd and long.
Minute and a half gone by here in this fourth quarter. Antrobus, and he'll get to the 35. That's back to the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be it. Tackled on the play there by Brandon Greifelt, sophomore from Mount Prospect. And now Matt Burns will be back in to punt.
Yeah, and Burns have the ability here to get one off pretty good. The wind's, going with them here, and hopefully can pin the Cardinals deep. But I will say one thing, Matt Burns obviously getting a little bit more playing time as a freshman than what you would want out of a freshman punter. But he's done an admirable job in his first year as a Blue Jay.
Gets off another pretty good one. That one fair caught at the 35-yard line by Jarrett Kreider. So the Cardinal offense back out onto the field with 12:36 remaining here in the ball game.
Yeah, so with this drive too, you're still seeing kind of that, I don't know, you want to call it the second unit, I guess, between Johnson and Garrett in the backfield, but two obviously more than capable backups in this North Central system.
Johnson will hand it off to Garrett. Garrett dives forward to the 43-yard line. He'll pick up 7, but there is a penalty marker down in the backfield.
Yeah, I think they're going to call Joe Moore here for a hold or block in the back, maybe whatever you want to call it here. But that's what it looked like on the preliminary, and I think that's what they're doing here. The Cardinals are already backing up.
7th penalty of the game against the Cardinals. Blue Jays today with just 1 penalty. So that wipes out that 7-yard run. It's going to be 1st and 20 as they bring it back to the 26.
Good thing I'm seeing down here on the sidelines, though, even when you're down as much as the Jays are, McAvoy's doing a good job of coaching up the offense right now.
Johnson on the quarterback keeper. Gets out to the 28-yard line. He'll gain about 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, so you're going to have a 2nd and long situation here, and obviously the Cardinals are going to just take their time getting up to the line of scrimmage here, but no sense in doing anything, down the field per se. They're doing a good job controlling the line of scrimmage, able to get up some yards even on the Elmhurst kind of 1st and 2nd team fronts here, but a little bit different of a play situation for the Cardinals.
Johnson going to the air. He's got his intended target, Zach Butler. Check that. I believe is that Tommy Coates. There's 2 threes. Yeah,
Yep.
Coates is on offense. Butler is the defensive back.
Butler had the pick earlier.
Right.
And, Coates, he's 6'3", 183 pounds from De La Salle Institute in the city. Good frame on that kid. I mean, you look at him as a backup, or as a 2 or a 3 for North Central, and he's only a freshman, but he's got the frame of a 20-year-old junior. It looks like.
Yeah. He's split out here to the bottom of your monitor. Stephon Postman with single coverage on him. Instead, Johnson looks to the far side now, plants his feet, throws, and tipped around. Oh, that was almost picked off.
Johnson had down the field at about the Elmhurst 20, Axel Ponton wide open. Probably the only guy on the North Central side that didn't see Ponton open was a quarterback, unfortunately. And that could have been an easy touchdown. And fortunately for the Jays, it's 4th down.
Tipped and deflected and almost getting the pick was Marco Huxhold, the 6'2" junior linebacker.
And we don't have a returner back there currently.
Yeah, nobody back deep for the Blue Jays.
No returner, and there was only 10 on the field. And that obviously probably because you do have some injuries, which messes with your depth chart a little bit. And, just a misbit information there, unfortunately. But nothing hurt. The punt actually bounced in Elmhurst's favor there. So 1st and 10 for the Jays.
10:29 remaining in the game.
And you still got Richie going out here at quarterback for the Jays. So, no Hinkle today. Interesting to see the reasons behind that. But Antrobus will get another series at running back here for Elmhurst.
It doesn't look like he's, as far as Hinkle goes, he's injured or anything. Looks like he's ready to go. Antrobus gets the call here, and he'll get tackled at the 29, maybe a gain of a yard.
Yeah, you still got guys like on the outside, Parbs getting some more action in the slot for the Jays. You got Dimitri Valcourt lined up on the outside here as well. So some guys with some athletic ability on the outside if Richie can get the ball out there. But you got Tanner King still lined up on the outside for Elmhurst at the outside receiver spot as a linebacker.
Dimitri Valcourt split out to the very bottom of your monitor. Flushed out here to the near side, and Richie is going to take it and run, and he steps out of bounds at the 36-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards short of the 1st down.
Yeah, 2 yards short of the stick there, but, that's about all you can do. You had one guy coming off the edge there from North Central and was able to elude him and pick up some substantial yardage there, but still a 3rd and short opportunity here.
And the Blue Jays need to get to the 38-yard line, pick up a 1st.
No overload on the right side here. I think we know where the ball's going. Yep.
Out of the pistol, Antrobus is going to get brought down in the backfield. It's going to be a tackle for a loss. Tackled on the play by Storm Simmons, junior linebacker.
Yeah, Storm Simmons. I remember recruiting him out of high school. He was down at Normal Community.
Great program down there.
Yeah, and I believe Normal won last night as well.
Okay. Didn't get that.
Caught some random highlights on Twitter through someone retweeting something, and I saw Normal win, but
Gotta love social media.
Yeah, I mean, it's that easy for me to know that Normal won. Couldn't tell you who they played, couldn't tell you the score, but I saw that orange N helmet, and I was like, oh, yeah, Normal won, okay.
Burns with another pretty good punt. Fair caught by Kreider at the 30-yard line. North Central back on offense here, leading 75-7. So one more score for the Cardinals, and that will be their season high. Mentioned they put up 77 against North Park earlier this season.
Yeah, and we're seeing obviously a lot of these, high-scoring, one-sided games, and it's kind of par for the course for a lot of these teams at the Division III level.
Johnson going to hand it off this time. It's Armando Varela, senior running back from California. Wonder how he likes this type of weather.
He doesn't have sleeves on, so at least we know he's tough, so that's good. I would be wearing sleeves today, and I grew up in this weather, and I'm no shame in saying that.
I'd be wearing a lot more than sleeves.
Wool socks. And
you got it. Picked up 6. 2nd and 4. He gets the call again. Kind of stutter steps, hesitates a little bit, gets across midfield and into Blue Jay territory. Nice run by Varela.
Yeah, quick feet there by Varela to get past the second level and shake off a couple of defenders. And that, like you said, on the right side of the 50 here for North Central.
Yep.
Got some new guys on the defensive front, it looks like, here too for Elmhurst. Some guys getting some reps that we haven't seen yet. Nate Oleski on the near side here, number 53.
Jeremy Innes is the cornerback. He started earlier this season.
Yeah, we've seen him, in and out. We're going to get a procedure call on the top of the field there on North Central. We got Jeff Bills out there playing corner.
And to be expected with the second and third units out there.
Yeah, saw Brett Stiegmiller just run off the field there. Another younger player for us in the terms of just how long he's been here, but he's a transfer from us, for us as well. So just getting guys reps, getting guys experience. Tavy Dern's out there, and he's a junior. He's been in the program for a while too, and he was a Victor J. Andrew product.
Tavy, yeah, he had a good game last week against Milliken. 9 tackles. I believe he had a pick as well. Johnson is going to run it. Step out of bounds at the 45, near the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and he got taken down. It almost looked out of bounds there by Huxhold, but the flags didn't throw, which is good in the sense of no 15 yards, no free first down here. But yeah, just getting some guys reps. And again, next week going up to North Park, definitely a winnable game, and hopefully some things bode well here for the rest of the game to carry some momentum into North Park week.
And perhaps the big question mark will be who will be at quarterback for the Blue Jays.
Absolutely. Right? You wonder what Hinkle is going to be like next week. Haney, obviously not really sure on what his prognosis is. Clearly doesn't look too well compared to where he was at about a quarter ago, but we'll see. I mean, it's a battle of attrition at this point.
Varela, the ball carrier, as he got to the 41-yard line, tackled by Marco Huxhold. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 from the 41 as we approach the 6-minute mark of this game.
Yeah, hopefully a stop here by Elmhurst on defense, and can move the ball down the field a little bit here on their next drive. But you got just about 6 minutes to go to make something happen here.
Blue Jays looking for a stop here on 3rd down and 4. Varela will get the first down. Or no, check that. They faked me out on that play.
Yeah, pulled at the last second there by Johnson.
Yeah.
He tried to get it out. Looked like I believe that was Axel Ponton.
I think you're right. Yeah, number 80, yeah. So the punting unit coming out.
Typically don't see this on your college roster in the United States, but Ponton is listed as a junior from Uppsala, Sweden, by way of the University of Wyoming, which is a very interesting route.
Yeah. Mitchell will punt. It's a high, short punt, and it takes a Blue Jay roll. It's going to be down at the 33.
Cole Griffin on the down there for the Cardinals, kicking into the wind, and Elmhurst will be at the 34-yard line to start this drive.
Again, the wind continuing to howl here. Again, it's still out of the west from left to right, so the Blue Jays with that wind here with 5:34 remaining.
New running back into the game for the Blue Jays. That's number 36, Chris Binder. Binder's a 5'9", 175-pound junior from Providence Catholic.
And he'll take it close to the 40-yard line, so a 5-yard gain by Binder. Makes it 2nd down and 5.
Good to see Chris in there, too. He's a very active member of the Elmhurst community in terms of the extracurriculars. Obviously a football member here, but student ambassador, so he works in the admission office. I see him at least a couple times a week. Great kid. And it's good to see him getting some carries here.
2nd and 5, and again it's Binder, and this time he'll get about a yard to the 41-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Theo Gabriel getting into the game as well here for the Jays. Theo's been with the program for all 4 years. He's a senior from Wheaton North. So he's getting some reps here late in the game.
Of course, the other big question mark, Tristan Womack, he went down with an injury in the end zone, and
yeah, and
we hope he's going to be okay for next week.
Yeah, he's standing over on the 25-yard line with Tahaney and Dobchek.
Zacharias lets it out, and the intended target there was Justin Parbs. Incomplete, 4:20 remaining.
Yeah, not much going on there for Richie to get that ball out. I mean, that's one where probably you just take your loss and maybe try to get some yards on with your feet. But Parbs wasn't open, and that thing was thrown well out of bounds, and now it's another quick 3-and-out for the Jays.
Jarrett Kreider is the deep man here for the Cardinals, awaiting the punt of Matt Burns. 4:20 to go here in the ball game. Burns with that rugby-style kick as he moved to the right, lets it go, and it will go out of bounds around the 35-yard line. So the victory today will move North Central to 6-1 in the CCIW. They will improve to 7-1 overall. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays will fall to 1-6 in league play and 1-7 overall.
Yeah, definitely a disparity there on the records, and you know, that's been kind of par for the course the last couple of years in the CCIW. I mean, obviously the Cardinals are kind of the class of the conference up there with Wheaton, but you know, room to grow here for the Jays. But again, we keep stressing it, a winnable game next week to get out of the cellar.
Varello gets the call.
Burns with the tackle.
TV Derns came up to make the stop, tackled at the 37. 3 yards on the play, so 2nd and 7.
Yeah, under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And at this point, you know, too, a lot of it is, okay, we're just getting some reps here. We're going to take our time. Let's get out of here as healthy as possible here. Let's not give up any more too big injuries and be healthy for next week.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's definitely your number one priority, is to get at least semi-healthy for that game next week against North Park. Varela straight up the middle as he fights his way towards what appears to be a first down, and indeed it is. So they'll move the chains here.
And you know, for the players too, it's kind of a weird situation, because you know the game's over. You know, I mean, you're not going in with that same mentality versus the guy across the line from you. So I mean, you're almost holding up a little bit more than you would at the end of the play, as you would say if it was the second quarter. So it's interesting here watching these last few minutes. I mean, there's obviously still giving effort, and it's guys that might not be on the field usually.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's still, you're at this point where it's like, all right, let's get out of here a little bit quicker than usual.
Varela picked up 4 more yards. 2nd down and 6. 2:37 left to play.
Mitch McNitt checking into the game at the defensive line spot on the end there for the Jays. Mitch is a senior from Muskegon, Michigan, played at Fruitport High School, and another good kid. I know Mitch well.
Jake Johnson on second down is going to hand it off again. And Valera gets across midfield to the 49-yard line of Elmhurst.
Yeah, and they're taking their time. They've got the play off at the last second every last 3 plays here, and now you're under 2 minutes to go. And yeah, let's just get out of here healthy or as healthy as we can, and move on to next week.
3rd down and 3. So if they pick up the first down, they'll probably go to the victory formation, take a knee a couple times, and this one will be over. 3rd and 3 for the Cardinals from the 49 of the Blue Jays, and it's going to be Johnson on the keeper, and look at him go. He is going to go all the way. Well, he spins and he dives into the end zone for the touchdown. 49-yard touchdown run by Jake Johnson.
Yeah, and he saw that one pre-snap. He knew if he was going to pull that thing, he was going to have a lane, and it was the right call. He pulled that thing last second from Varela, which probably upset Varela a little bit, and he was able to take that thing all the way down himself. So now with that touchdown, yeah, North Central surpassed their total number for points, is the season high, I should say, for points in a game.
Mayer in now for the extra point. So with 1:17 remaining in the game, Mayer's extra point is good. It is now 82-7.
Yeah, you don't see the 80 number too often.
Yeah.
Not much you can say about it. It's not an easy game to call in the fourth quarter when the other team's got 82, and you obviously you feel for the guys on the Elmhurst sideline. You feel almost like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And I've been on the side of I think 77 was the most I got put up on in college. It was 77-42, but nonetheless, you're still giving up 77 points, and that's a lot. But I've also been on the side where you're putting up 70 on a team, and there's a point even in that where you're like, well, all right, I think this is good. And I know I said earlier in the game it's a style points thing in terms of they need to score as many points as possible for the NCAA committee to put them in a certain pool and to get them a certain first-round game. But at the same time, I find it very hard to believe that Jeff Thorne's over on that sideline going, all right, let's put up as many as we can on these guys. That's not the mentality of him. So, but it is a bit of a mismatch. That's just long and the short of it.
Which is why Coleman controlled it.
Mayer's kick taken by Jay Fair, caught at. And as Jeff mentioned, they'll move the ball up to the 20.
Yeah, 1:17 to go here in the fourth quarter. And, just a couple of runs here and the clock will run out. And we move on to North Park, and with that as well, the Cardinals will then move on to a tough game with the Titans at home.
Yeah.
At Benedetti Worley. So that's at least a good thing. They don't have to travel down to Bloomington. They'll be able to take on the Titans at home.
I said the 20. I meant the 25-yard line.
Binder there.
Your thoughts on that rule? A fair caught inside, they bring it out to the 25?
Yeah, and I think because what you're seeing now, and it's a safety thing where, most of your kickoffs are going out of bounds, or not out of bounds, but through the end zone anyways, and now you have a lot of teams now purposely kicking short to set up the return to pin deeper.
Right.
So to counter that with the fair catch rule to get the ball out to the 25. It's interesting. It's a good twist, I guess. It's a new twist that, I don't know, probably the old school guys don't like, but I get it. I definitely understand why they do it.
Binder will get it, and he'll get up to the 30-yard line for a pickup of 3. So it's going to be 3rd down and 5 here for the Jays. See if they get off another play here. 20 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah, they're subbing some guys out here. Theo Gabriel's coming out, and no, he's not. Jalen Young was going to go in, but I think that's going to do it here.
Yeah, 5 seconds to go, and the Blue Jays do not get the play off. So that's your final score here from Langhorst Field. The Cardinals very impressively knocking off the Blue Jays here by a score of 82-7. And now Elmhurst will try to regroup and go to North Park next week. And as Jeff mentioned, the Cardinals will be at home next week against Illinois Wesleyan. And the name of the game is getting healthy for next week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. And yeah, I was just watching that interaction there between Coach Thorne and Coach McDonald. And I think it was a good spirited, hey, we weren't trying to do anything on you there, and that's good to see. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have to get healthy here, and that's the only way they're going to get past North Park, healthy or not. It's going to be a tough last 2 weeks here. You go out to North Park, then you come home and play the top team in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, get healthy, get some confidence here for the next couple of weeks. We see what we can do, and for the Cardinals, then it's the same thing. Stay healthy and get ready for the playoffs. So you're looking at it at both ends from where we're sitting, and it's a really interesting thing to do. But hopefully for both teams, we stay healthy and you move on to the next part of the season.
So our next telecast of Blue Jay football 2 weeks from today, as the Cardinals will take on the Wheaton Thunder here from Langhorst Field. Don't forget, tune in on Tuesday night to BlueJayTV.com. We'll bring you Blue Jay volleyball as it's the opening round of the CCIW Conference Tournament. Blue Jays will be taking on Augustana from R.A. Faginal Hall. So that'll do it here from Langhorst Field. Again, your final score, North Central 82, Elmhurst 7. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. So long, everybody.